Basically led to me being banned from every school and hospital in the northwest of England, especially zoos. So yeah, not good. Hello, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
How are we all? Just did this. Just did this. Not doing it again. Spoiler, everyone. Everyone's all right.
Well,
Everyone's fair enough.
yeah.
Poe's getting... sorry, Mortandulus.
Oh.
Well, soon to be Poe. Is getting morose.
Getting character.
He's getting in character. God, I remember when getting in character for you meant...
Putting
Just
my hat
getting,
on and
just
getting
get, yeah, your hat and your medallion and putting like tequila and milk. And of course, my son is immediately here after I set everything up for him. He just wants a quick hug, so now I feel terrible. Thank you. Okay, good boy, love you. Off you go. Not as much as I love you guys to play D&D.
Yeah, boy.
That's a lie. It's fairly equal.
That's why I say every Tuesday night when my kid's like, "Can you read us a story?" I'm like, "No, I'm going to my better family tonight."
Here we go. Yeah, one person in chat got picked up on the horrible ban from schools and zoos. Yeah, you used to drink the milk, didn't you? I was convinced.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I was convinced you used to do that in person as well.
Yeah, I did used to leave milk out for like
What?
a few weeks before it turned into
Every session you poured a pint out until the next one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gross.
When Bartandulus was Poe and hated his god, he used to like put his... I can't remember why you did it, but you put your holy symbol in like a flagon of milk and let it curdle and then drank it. Remind me why you did that.
So,
Fucking weird.
because that was the only symbol or artifact left of Velsharoon, and he was always trying to get his name back out there. So if I left the holy symbol on wood and stuff, he would like burn his emblem into the wood. So we always used to put it into water, but water was just too hard to drink when it had all the acidy bile stuff. And just over the years, he found that milk was just easier for him. So it's a bit of backstory fluff.
Fucking grim when you describe and just like the chunks of it.
Well, because it was still putting its kind of like poison and badness into the milk, so then he wanted to make sure that didn't get left out in the world, so he was always making sure, and I admit, I wrote like a little short story that the DM had before. It's like, even when he'd finished his milk and the barman went to get the empty glass, he's like, nope, and he kind of like gets it and kind of like rubs his cloth inside the thing to make sure that none of this Velsharoonness is...
I'm just imagining with Velsharoon. What's up, son? You've hardly touched your Velsharoonos.
That's a pretty grim, dark story.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys... I mean, God, I did like a little primer for Bartandless when I started. I did 2 short stories. I did one when he was a kid.
The stories have been lost, because I only have the proper home brewery... The Life of Eckhart Poe, which I will share when my campaign is over and we do our Talks Machina round table, all the shit you missed.
Remember some of this. I can't remember if this is stuff you told us during the campaign, like the whole vampires in pits thing, or if you sent me part of it or something, maybe?
He's told about a Purity Bridge a couple of times.
Yes, we had our little... I think that was our around the Vistani camp, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Yeah, so... yeah, no,
that was basically what I did. Read my backstory out. Or an element of it, at least.
There's an elephant in your backstory.
Oh, that would be cool. I'm going to play a Loxodon.
No, you're fucking not. Have fun with whoever you're playing with.
What about,
The newest Unearthed Arcana. What the fuck? I mean, I know GIF were in it already.
That's the one.
GIF I don't mind. Because I just get really, really like ultra-violent barbar vibes of GIF. Because weren't the baddies all rhino? Oh no, rhinos, not hippos. Shit. But the other ones are like basically the alien from The Thing or Among Us and mecha gnomes. Such a weird one.
Well, it's supposed to be Spelljammer, so...
Yeah, it won't be. It's never allowed to be Spelljammer. But I'm really curious to see how this session goes, because it's just going to be a bit of a talky, planny one, isn't it? I feel like I'm going to be taking a lot of out-of-game notes based on what you're saying, just so I can have stuff prepped for next week.
No, don't do that, because it'll ruin whatever we plan.
No, I mean, like, so the stuff you say hasn't actually fallen flat. Like, if we want the guards to go here, to make sure I actually have a map for there and guards, not just, they've said this, so I'm going to counter it. Strahd's scrying if you will achieve that. Doesn't need me to do anything.
I just remembered something that Lindsay said to me before. You know how we've discussed potential allies that we might bring with us. She was like, can we just like ring a bell in the town square and get like any commoners we want that might be interested to come with us? And I was like, no, because one, they will just die within 3 seconds, and two, it would be a pain to run in the actual, foundry system. I don't. Stuff. And she said, what if you ran them as a swarm?
Well, there are. I think it's in Van Richten's. There is a scaling like mob up to uprising stat block.
That's amazing. I'd never thought of
for the
commoner
increase.
Swarm before.
Yeah. It's definitely a thing. But then I just quickly convert it into a swarm of vampire spawn if you did that. So yeah.
Exactly. There's no way that if we brought that many bodies and hit points that they would not
get night kinged.
It's not 100%. That easy to turn something a vampire, though, right?
Oh, you speak from all your experience. I'm the DM. It can be as fucking easy as I want. Is your name Strahd? Yeah, I can fucking vampire spawn like that.
See, the DM's fiat is
so
strong.
it begins.
How's your dead mate Cora? He's mine now.
No, can you imagine if I got there and that's where he was? He might be.
Yeah,
Can you imagine that if him and Anya were in there? Oh god. They are 100% in Ravenloft. There's no loose ends in this campaign. There's going to be Vanya. There's going to be Vanya, Anya, and
Tanya.
Cuthbert, Dibble and Grub. Yeah, no. Well, this is what I was saying about the mobs, because I have the Feet Heart of Darkness, where I can get people to basically come and help me in a fight, commoners. So I could literally build up a mob by going around threatening everybody. But
doesn't it specifically say if like you're unarmed and your life is in danger, sort of thing? Like Farmer Joe would step in with his pitchfork and help you out. I don't know if you're going to get to like Vendrick it around the swamp town.
Doesn't it say they won't risk their life for you or something?
No, it says they will. It says Heart of Darkness. It says those who look into your eyes can see that you have faced unimaginable horror and that you are no stranger to darkness. Though they might fear you, commoners will extend you every courtesy and do their utmost to help you. Unless you have shown yourself to be a danger to them, they will even take up arms to fight alongside you should you find yourself facing an enemy alone. Now, I would say that...
You're not facing an enemy alone, no, are you? Unless you want to. You can go first. You can go into the slaughter first and me and Hal will come in later.
I don't know. I think it depends how you want to take the context of it. If it's like, oh no, you're always with your party soul, that means your fucking feet for your background is completely useless.
I'm going to stand 60 feet away from you at all times.
Yeah. But yours has only been made useless because we've got Cora. Like finding food and
What's
stuff.
Cora's?
Well, she's an urchin, so it's basically she can travel across cities in half the time.
You useful.
Okay, yeah, no, you win. That is the most
I can-
useless. For the
Hey, she
smallest cities in...
She can halve her time getting through the village of Barovia.
It'll take me 15 minutes rather than half an hour, if even that. It's probably like...
So at a sprint, it's
10
probably
minutes
15
across, isn't it?
seconds across the village of Barovia. Well,
Yeah.
we finished at the Forest Fane. As you
I feel stronger.
completed your restoration.
I don't know. I felt like I was expecting there to be a bigger crescendo to that. You know, like there to be you've done all 3. Like that you get some. I mean, I know I got some cool stuff with Johnny Trey and stuff, but I expected there to be more of a that they would impart some knowledge or tell us something more. I don't know.
I feel it would
Expecting
be
a
remiss of
musical
you
number?
to presume that there has been no impact with us doing the biggest subplot.
Oh no, it's definitely been an impact, but I don't know. I expected from them like direct discussion, but no.
Did you want them each to come over and give you a pat on the back one at a time?
Really, I just expected like Laura Stoneheart to come over and have a little chat with us because she was the only one that seemed to really, truly understand that they were even.
I think
But they did
Cora
not.
wanted to look into the stone, the obsidian shards, and then just see the reflections. If you ever need us. If you ever need us. That's
The secret to destroying Strahd is.
restoring the Fanes. Congratulations.
Yeah.
That's the quest.
Hey, that's a point. Is the light still shining from Argynvost?
At
Yes.
the session it was mentioned, yes.
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely still shining.
Is there I picked up the tough feat, so I'm now doubled almost my hit points. Shall I just have it though I was empowered by this revitalization of the Fanes? Or
No, when
there another dark-
we rest, you get HP. If you're talking about in terms of getting health back, that
No,
is
I'm talking about my
Oh.
max hit points are now 83 because I've applied my feat.
Yeah.
Change your max.
up your max. Yeah.
No, yeah, what I'm saying is, we just, that's fine, we'll just gloss that over to one side that you've suddenly
You
become
suddenly
much
look really
stronger.
beefy, that's what.
Yeah.
he gets swole.
Nah, it's the tough feet, so it's more like he's got really leathery, hard skin.
Oh, he's getting that already. No, I think for him, it's all the spider climbing. He's just got calves like a fucking camel now.
I mean,
He's got
let's put it in
tremendously muscly
perspective.
legs.
He's still looking like a weed next to even me.
Wow. That's,
True. That's what that is. It's
You
true.
can never lift anybody up, can you, Cora? You only feel good by putting people down.
I mean, a 5'2" girl that's got a bigger HP than him, so
Wow, that's
Wow.
actually I find that really
gender
really offensive.
discrimination, that
Yeah.
like women shouldn't be on equal footing with men, Cora. You should know better than that. That's ridiculous. You have just set feminism back 10 years with...
God, I hate you guys.
Our viewers are plummeting from 6 to 5, guys. Let's glorify.
I'm not gonna miss this part of the campaign.
Oh.
This constant barrage of bullshit about me.
Oh, dear.
It's not.
He started it by saying that I'm a
Yeah.
weed, and now as soon as I come back, I do nothing but lift people up. but then fail because I have 7 strength. I
Right.
lift people up with disadvantage all the time.
So you all stand at the Forest Fane. The sun is shining. The weather is sweet, yeah? No, the sun is not shining. But
A bit.
a bit. But the Forest Fane, and by extension all Fanes, have been restored. What do you want to do now?
I think we said in character, didn't we? That we should head to Mordenkainen. He'll be
Sounds good to me. Maybe we should have a nice little nap first.
Maybe not here though. It's not that far away to get to the Sur Falls.
That's true.
Did we have the wagon? I can't remember.
I don't
I
think we would have brought it out of
yeah, I
Dothraki.
can't imagine why you wouldn't have brought it to make things quicker.
The other thing
It's
that
not
we said
quicker.
is, where's Rhymetrack?
Oh
We
yeah,
lost him along the way. Don't know what happened to him.
he was dutifully sat outside the circle.
Oh, that's kind of him.
Now
He's
he's
watching
in.
us getting beaten up.
Yeah. So we are just going to head back down. As you're walking down the promontory towards the road, you do see that it's hardly, it's not Disney levels, but you do notice but like small buds and shoots of plants and flowers that were not there before, are in the early stages of growth down the slopes of a promontory. It's a bit of a stark contrast when you first came up here and it was just a haunted windmill with thousands of ravens that dive bombed you and tried to drive you away.
I forgot about them.
And you were like, they're attacking us. The ravens are evil. They're defending the windmill. In fact, they were like, get the fuck away.
Oh, ha ha ha. New players didn't know all the ins and outs of the campaign yet. Ha ha ha. Good joke.
You sound like Zippy.
Jeffrey.
It'd be silly. Dude.
So yeah, we stroll on down towards the Surf Falls,
Taking impressions.
taking in the brighter, greener Barovia.
Good. And we will travel. Getting back into the wagon. The short distance. I wish I'd gone for a more HD map here. So we are here. And yes, and we are travelling to the Surf Falls.
Yeah, just past the end of Strahd's avenue.
Yeah, but Strahd's everywhere anyway, so it doesn't matter.
He is
waiting for us.
land.
He is. He's
Not anymore
ancient.
there, is he?
Well, yeah, very much less so. He's just waiting now, biding his time. We say in character, he's just waiting now, biding his time.
Well, hopefully he's weakened and his HP pool is much lower now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any more last minute things we can do to lower his abilities? And
Well, we should take stock of what we've got in our inventories. I do have some potentially useful potions and whatnot. I need to recharge the Estus flask tonight, but something that I have that I've never gotten around to using is black sap. That's actually not the one I was thinking of, but it's also potentially useful.
What does blacks? Ah! My turn now. What should I do? I don't know. What does black sap do?
A creature... Oh, it can be smoked as a concentrate or injected directly into the bloodstream. A creature subjected to a dose of black sap cannot be charmed or frightened for 1d6 hours.
Seems
For
pretty
each
useful.
dose...
Remind me where you got that from? I can't remember myself.
I don't know. For each dose of black sap, a creature must succeed a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or become poisoned for 2d4 hours.
That'd be
So,
gold fires.
not great
Yeah.
if you don't have good constitution.
Well, it seems like that'd be more useful for you, but kind of doubles up with the enchantment breaker, right?
True, but I think for me, well, if it lasts a short time, then maybe both are worth it. If it lasts a long time, then that could be quite useful. Cora is surprisingly sturdy, so perhaps it would be useful for her also.
Yeah, makes sense.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said about me, Halvor.
Short and tough. You're looking rather tough now too, Buttontless. Perhaps
Work
you are
out.
benefited by the
Is
restoring of the Fanes.
Cora particularly short?
Yeah.
Much shorter now that her
She
antlers have
described
gone.
herself as 5'2".
I've always been 5'2".
Oh.
But anyway, tough. She has +7 con save, which is pretty good. So
Hmm.
I will. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, nice. Okay,
some
well,
other
are we
things
all
I have.
are we all moving some items around then?
We can
think-
do. I was
Yeah,
just gonna
now's the
get
time
go-
to be doing it
have
as
a
you're
taking stock.
following along.
Yeah. Okay, go on then. Let's take stock.
Additionally, I have the bullseye lantern. No, wait, that's not the magic one. There's a magic one somewhere. Ah, yes, the lantern of revealing, useful for seeing invisible things.
Would have been very useful in that last fight against
Yeah.
the Dark Korra.
That's a very good point, but
You live and learn.
you do indeed. I also have the oil of sharpness. You can either coat a piercing weapon, slashing or piercing weapon, or 5 pieces of ammunition, and it gives them a plus 3 to attack and damage rolls.
Nice.
That is nice.
But of course, if you're wielding a +2 sword made out of lasers, then it's not that useful.
Pretty good for Korra, though, right?
Yeah. Although it's
she's-
only 5 arrows.
She's wielding a +2 bow.
That is true, but you're both wielding a +2 something, so unless we're giving it to... And I kind of
Well, here's the question.
subtly thumbed
Does it
Esmeralda.
No. It always takes the highest
Oh,
modifier.
Esmeralda. Yeah, she's got her weapons are like +1, right? They are magic.
Esmeralda has a silvered short sword, a +1 hand axe, and a +1 rapier.
So her silver short sword is just silvered, it's not a plus
It is
anything.
correct.
I was going to say, might it not be worthwhile to either me or Barty? Do you have any actual like melee weapons?
No. with my 7 strength. Please.
It's not worth it. You can use cantrips more easily anyway.
Then, because I've got like the hand axe of warnings. What, a +1?
+1, yeah.
So I don't know if it might be worth making that a +3.
Well, bear in mind that this is a temporary. It'll only last for an hour when it's coated on something.
Then I would say
Or
I would
if
say
it's
that's-
ammunition,
that's
it only does 5 pieces.
I would say the best bet to get more of your money's worth would be save that for Korra at the...
Let's save that for Korra.
I'm not going to keep doing this in character. So, I think we don't know how long it's going to take us to get through Ravenloft. She could quite easily run out of ammo. Oh no, she can't run out of ammo anymore, can
No, she can't.
Damn, girl. Okay. So I don't know. It seems like it seems like put it on. Unless there comes a point where it's not going to be a good idea for her to use ranged, and she wants to whip out the melees. Having one
Get back into the
pre-coated,
corner.
having one pre-coated might work out all right.
But then, so is it from when you put it on? It's then going to last for an hour, or when you
Yeah.
start using that weapon?
When you put it on.
From when you put it on, but it's worth noting. It does take a minute to apply the oil, so it's not like, if something jumps out, you can
Yeah, yeah.
spend an action pouring it on or something.
Yeah, it's prepping for a battle, innit?
So as soon as we know that Strahd's in the next room, that's when we do it.
Yeah, he's gonna sit there, wait
Exactly.
for us for a minute outside, like, been in a minute, mate.
Just oiling my sword.
Well, I mean, it's more fun if we're more competition, right?
I like to think so.
Big words.
So it's either that or we give it to Ez. I think we give it to Ez. I think she's gonna get more use out of it.
But again, when's she gonna put it on? Like, excuse me, just hold on for a second. I'm busy over here.
Well, I mean, even if we're not using it for Strahd, I think there'll come a point where we go like, hold on a minute, something bad's probably gonna go down on here. Let's just whip out, because at the end of it, it's not like it's not gonna sway the battle that much, is it? So we don't have to go like, we need to stock everything for Strahd. There's some stuff that's like, okay, we keep that for Strahd, but everything else, I don't know. Let's use it to get to him in one piece.
Well, that's basically all of the things I have. The only other things I've got on me are the Cloak of Protection, the Enchantment Breaker, Ring, and Zimmerman's Spinning Top.
What's that do?
It's a spinning top that doesn't fall over.
Nice.
Useful. I
And
mean,
you
you
kept it?
could wager. You could be like, if you wager how long this spinning top's going to take to fall over, if you lose, then we can kill you.
And then he just says, forever. It's like, damn! Because you've been watching us all this time.
We could say whoever's closest.
and then we have to wait, and he outlives us because he is eternal.
No, I mean if we both guess forever, then we both win. You know.
That's true.
And then we just become best buds with Strahd.
And then you both just jump up and click your heels, and it becomes the Strahd and Halvor show. Okay. Cora, what have you got in terms of gear?
Consumables, not an awful lot of exciting things. I've got the Wand of Web. I've got one healer's kit. Got my +2 arrows. Got a couple of bolus arrows still. Everything else is pretty standard stuff like rope and rations and stuff.
She's got her bag of tricks.
Yes, I do have my bag of tricks. I've also got 2 flasks of alchemist's fire. And really, I think that's about it, to be honest.
Okay. I have got...
Some diamonds? That'd be really useful.
Well, I have a spell scroll of Revivify.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but so does that mean that you have to be able to use it though?
No, you can use it because it's a class spell. So me and you can use it. So if I go down, you will have to come and get it out of my... and I wave my spell book at Cora. I generally keep it in the back pages here, accessible.
That's good to know.
So I have 2 flasks of holy water, which in and of themselves aren't that great. 2d6 radiant damage against a fiend or undead, and that's about it. I have spell scroll of Revivify.
Does the spell scroll have a limited number of uses?
Yes, a single use. So,
Just one.
So the way it works is with a spell scroll. I think. Well, you've given me the spell scroll as an item, DM, but I don't actually have the details of it, so I'm not actually sure what the DC is on it for using it. But oh no, it shouldn't matter because it's a class spelling. We can both use it, so we can literally just cast it. Okay, so we can cast it. We don't have to roll anything with it, but then it just disintegrates once we use it. Yeah. So we've got one use for it. Whereas previously I had the Bestow Curse spell scroll that actually, did I even use that in the end? No, I didn't end up using that. I was going to use it, but if I didn't have it as a spell at the time, which meant I would have had to make a roll. But anyway, so what I have got is 2 flasks of holy water, the spell scroll of Revivify, 2 vials of acid, which is just 2d6 of acid damage. I have a basic poison vial. You can use this poison. You can use the poison in this vial to coat 1 slashing or piercing weapon or up to 3 pieces of ammunition. Applying the poison takes an action. Creature hit by the poison weapon or ammunition must make a DC 10 Constitution saving throw or take 1d4 poison damage. Oh, is that it? It's just 1d4 poison damage? Okay. I mean, it's better than nothing, I guess.
Per hit?
Yeah, but it only does it lasts for 1 minute.
These things are way better with actual weapons because you can keep slashing for every single round as opposed to 3 pieces of ammunition.
Yeah, so that's gonna... Right, I'll send that to you then.
Well, here's the thing. Can one coat a sword made of radiant light?
No.
With poison?
No, because it has no blade.
But I could put it on the hand axe of warning or something, or
Absolutely.
Again, put it on Ez. Put it on something that's going to get used. There's no point in stacking stuff on an item that might not even get pulled out in battle.
True.
Although Ez is like someone's applied retains potency for 1 minute, so make sure she puts the basic poison on before she puts the +2 on. Otherwise, by the time the +2s are finished, oh shit, the poison's out. So that would be, but I mean, she can apply it, so it takes an action, so she can do that in combat. But it's, I don't know. It's worth her having over us, though, I imagine. Yeah.
Probably.
Okay, I'll just rename that for Ez. Alright. Unless you want to take it, actually, DM, do you just want to take it now and drop it on Ez?
Sure. So it's in your bag, yeah.
Yes, it is.
And which one is it we're taking? The oil.
Basic poison vial.
It is... Oh.
We
Oh,
could
do I have
coat
3? Oh,
Fang's claws.
I have 3 of them.
Yes.
Put them on. I'd say put them on Esmeralda for now.
Okay.
Oh my god, we've still got the cursed dagger.
Yeah, no, I don't even know what it does. Okay, I then have a healer's kit. I don't have a potion of healing anymore. I'll delete that because I used it in the last battle.
Did you?
Yeah, when I got absolutely battered by your ladyship.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, you healed me up, and then I was like, if she looks at me, I'm gone. So I then have an oil flask, which is fine for like setting fire or something on a square of whatever. Scroll of Bestow Curse, which is a concentration spell, so it's quite hard to stack. I don't think you can cast Scroll of Bestow Curse as a ranger.
Not much it's got access to, so I doubt it.
No. So I can, but I can also cast it, so it's there as an option. I then have a potion of greater healing, which I'm going to send to Halvor, presumably.
Oh, which, sorry?
Potion of greater healing.
Sure. I was just going through the party inventory. We have the Doll of Desire,
We do.
which could potentially be useful.
I have obsidian shards. They've not done anything. They're bits of the death statue from the thing that I just picked up on the sneak.
That was a scary time.
Old move. I don't know whether we could make arrowheads out of them, DM.
No, they would require. These are from the shattered statue on the top walkway.
It was the one. Yeah, the one that the opposing one of the one with the face.
You could certainly look at seeing if Ornis could try and attach arrow shafts to them, and you could attempt to make obsidian head arrows.
That's cool.
I don't know what they would do though.
Yeah.
So.
Hopefully stab things.
Yeah. So they're probably not too much use. I have Thieves' Tool. I recommend that Cora should probably buy some when we get into town.
Did I not buy some? I'm sure I actually got around to buying some, didn't I?
Did you? Have you got them in your inventory? Because if not, the DM's going to say you ain't.
Are they equipment?
Inventory tools.
No. How the hell have I still
Then
not
you
got?
ain't.
Yes, I am buying them. I am buying them.
Hello, shopkeep. 1 thieves' tools, please, for doing thieving things.
You're not going to do any thieving with these, are you?
No, sir. No, not me. To undo the thieving.
I'm just an avid lockpicksman.
I have a 10-foot pole that's supposed to be in the bag of holding. I have the Ritual of Amber, which we're not going to do anything with anytime soon. I've got lightsicles. They glow faintly, the same colour as a bright light that was last near them. I don't know. Just a nice practical thing that might be useful at some point. Who knows? I've got Amber from Vampire's Sarcophagus, because, can't keep my hands to myself. And 2 dragon plushies.
Hey, the bag of holding has the chronal sphere in it.
Yeah.
Remind me what that is?
It's the one that stops them. Yeah, we're going to use that. It can cast Stop and Haste once. I'm presuming we're saving that for the last battle.
I don't remember knowing that it could do that.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, you forgot, because we did talk about it in character.
Isn't that the thing that essentially means you know the time?
It's a clock.
Yeah.
It's literally got a digital clock face on it.
Yeah,
I thought that's all it was.
We got it at the same time with the Eyes of Beholding, I think.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Yeah, I thought it was just a way of doing the time.
No, we talked about this because we were saying it's probably going to be best that Cora has it, because I can cast those spells and Cora won't be able to. So we might as well put them on somebody that. This is a conversation that we have had.
Okay, cool. So it can cast haste once and slow once, and then it can't do it anymore.
Correct.
Yeah.
And no concentration required.
I think it says for 100 years. I think it says.
Yeah.
It can only do either, can't it? It can do one or the other, and it can't do both.
Well,
No,
you can do one.
they can do each
one
one.
and then another one on the other action.
Yeah.
Oh, can you? No, but it says to cast either.
Yeah, as in you
Yeah,
can
but
cast
then
one of
further
them.
on.
Yeah.
Once a sphere has been used to cast a spell in this way, it can't be used to cast that spell again. When the sphere has been used to cast both, it loses its property.
I see.
That's pretty cool.
That's presumably final fight material. But yeah, the no concentration is pretty good. So
Yes, it's literally
that's
every ranger spell is concentration.
well, yeah, pretty much the same for me. So it depends. I mean, I generally have to concentrate more on stuff. So it's whether you would want whose action economy would you want to forgo, mine or Cora's?
I'm constantly fucking concentrating on owls and things.
Well, yeah, you would, for that item you wouldn't need any concentration, which is good. But would we want to? I mean, because she's got so many fewer spells, there's way more chance that she's probably going to have a chance to cast it. I would say.
The only thing I'm thinking is, I mean, we can at the end of the day, we can all move. It's not a thingy item, anyways, where we have to attune to it, so we can always move it around. All I'm thinking is, I am more likely to run out of spell slots where I can't even cast those spells.
True, since the things you've got anyway, you could just use them as an extra spell slot each.
Yeah.
What's the spell slots that you need for those?
You don't, it doesn't take any.
Oh,
Yeah, no, they're free.
Yeah, it's from the item itself.
nice.
So yeah,
So-
that could pad your spells a bit.
So it's one of those where it's not necessarily a big deal. It's great that it doesn't have concentration because it does allow us both to concentrate on something. It's less about that. It's more about, is it better that I waste my action to use the item or Cora wastes her action? Because she can always fire her bow. She's always got more that I think that is guaranteed damage, whereas mine's like, sometimes it's not going to be that great. There's plenty of times where I'm like, okay, I'm not really going to be putting much out in terms of damage output. Do we want to sacrifice Cora being able to use her
But
action?
you're the healer.
For a time, I am, yeah. And then when I've got no spell slots, I ain't. I mean, if I've no problem you having it. All I'm saying is that would we sooner Cora use her action to cast a spell instead of making an attack, or me to use the item with my action instead of casting a spell?
You take it then, because I think that I'm less likely to know an appropriate time to use it. So you take it.
Okay, you'll never run out of things to do. You've always got an action, especially now that you've got your ammo, your infinite ammo as well.
Infinite ammo.
So I think it would be it being on my action that I can then empower you guys, because I'm never going to use it on myself anyway. So that probably even makes more sense, especially with the haste action. I'm going to be casting it on you or on Halvor or Cora. I don't get to cast more than one spell with haste, do I? I think it is just a melee outranged attack, right?
Yeah, extra action that you can only use to make an attack, I think.
Is that a spell attack though?
Don't know.
Haste.
Haste wizard.
Can use haste? No.
It's
Alex.
Yeah.
TJ has just commented, sounds like this could have been done in an email.
Which bit?
Sounds like this could have been done in an email. Writes
Oh, it's
TJ in the
watching
stream chat. And I just put welcome to Streamed Inventory Management 101. It's just dropped that in.
Well, I think we've pretty much done right, because the DM's really stingy, so we've not actually got that much
This is why I never gave you any loot, just with this moment in mind. Thank you, TJ. That'll give me a good laugh.
Okay, so I've got the Chronal Sphere. We've got 2 Heartstones now, but we don't actually need to have hold of them, so that's fine. Doll of Desire.
That's something we should keep in mind, because it's potentially repeatedly useful against chaff enemies.
Yeah.
And even on a lucky day, strong enemies.
I really thought you were going to say Strahd.
The only problem with it is it affects everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you want to yeet it generally.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's because obviously I used it to pretty good effect in the winery to kite the big werewolf dude. But it's very situational where I've suddenly thought, I need to get these people away. and you guys aren't like right next to it. I'm just gonna cough quite a bit for a second.
Well, if we can like throw it into a horde of vampire spawn, and they get stuck in that bubble essentially, whilst we rain down arrows and fire on them, then that's not bad.
Yeah, especially, I mean, what's the weight on it? I mean, I can literally move it around with Mage Hand as well. So.
0.
Yeah, so I can move that around. Like I can lift it up in the air where they can't reach it. I mean, they can jump up for it and stuff, but then they can fight each other for it. So yeah, we could handle some swarms potentially with it.
Okay.
Until it gets ripped to pieces. And then obviously we've got the Eyes of the Beheld, which.
Do you want me to take the Dollar Desire for now?
If you want.
You can have it and you can use the mage hand on it and stuff. Though.
True, but if one of them does get it, then anyone else will keep trying to get it off them.
That's a good point, I suppose.
So regardless of where it ends up, it's still going to be probably useful. I'll take
Well,
it
it depends. It depends because I can potentially move it away and up a wall and kind of like leading them away with it. Whereas once you've thrown it, it's gone. You know,
Until
we might
kill whoever's holding it.
Yeah.
Can't
We might.
the mage hand just pick it up from wherever he's thrown it to, though?
Yeah.
So it don't matter, does it really?
No.
So
Okay.
do you say the Dollar of Desire was the last of your items to go through?
I think so. Yeah.
The Eyes of the Beheld are unlikely to be useful.
I don't know. Depends whether we want to be busting down doors in Ravenloft or we're like, let's have a little peep through this keyhole.
They could be, yeah, they could be used for things like that. But whilst all of this reaching into your bags and sat in the back of a wagon and talking to each other takes place, you have crossed through the mists and are fucking back home. You find yourself on the bridge overlooking the Salenka Pass. The waterfall at the base of which you know Mordenkainen's mediocre cave is Mordenkainen's modest cave lurks, and you know you have that path descending down. What, if anything, are you doing about the wagon, which will not make it down there?
I mean, ditch it. It's of little use now. It's not like even Airs. I don't think is that attached to it now that it's got nothing inside of it.
Yeah. Pull over into the tree line.
Yeah.
If there's somewhere that it can be secreted behind a couple trees, like 10 feet, 15 feet in, that's fine. If not, we'll as close as we can get it.
Yeah, there's not really an idea. Unless you start going further around the path into the actual forest itself. It's the very, very people tread stray from the path, unless they're hunting or evading
Have I made
things.
it up?
So,
Have I made it up that she could turn it invisible at one point?
yeah, she cannot turn the entire wagon invisible, because that would be the most terrifying weapon ever when filled with 100 flasks of alchemist's fire.
Why have I thought she could turn it invisible? I
Don't
do
know. Don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, it is parked up, and you're all just descending down the path towards Mordy's cave.
As I'm walking down, I will say to Esmeralda, how often do the Vistani leave the Serpool? Are they likely to come across the wagon?
The Serpool, not so much. They are the most stationary of the Vistani. They remain to wait upon and tend to Madame Eva, so what will
Not
change
anymore.
there now? What is happening in their camp I could not say.
That's my thought. If Madame Eva is no longer there, which we must presume is the case, maybe they're now looking for answers.
Or looking for Eva.
Either way, whilst they have been kind to us previously, and it is easy to turn my mind that it is the Valaki Vistani that have tried to threaten me, can I presume that it wouldn't be someone from the Serpool either?
Is this just going to be a mystery that never gets answered?
It'll get answered in the talks Machina at the end of the campaign. Or if we go and deal with it, guys.
Yeah, screw Ravenloft. Let's go see the Vistani.
As you're descending down, you come to the pool at the bottom, and you are, after a bit of observation, able to identify the invisible steps. If you remember, there were some invisible steps that the water would, like the mist from the waterfall was just settling on. That meant you were able to walk up these invisible wet platforms and reach a point in the wall where you could push through the water and enter the cave behind. After passing, of course, through the running water.
We don't even walk behind the waterfall. We go through it.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was
Do
the
we
whole
come
point.
Through wet?
You do. But
Come
who's
on,
who's going
Mordecai,
through
use some
first?
magic.
I mean, I don't think he walks through and goes out wet. Like, it's just anyone coming to see him.
Yeah.
I go through.
They must pass through running water, if you remember. From their first time coming.
yes.
He ain't no slouch.
I mean, he was until we saved him. So, let's not forget that we're the true heroes of Barovia. As we pass through, I will do the rounds and prestidigitate and try and dry us off a bit. I imagine there's still a bit of squelching in the boots and whatnot, but a little drier than we were. Providing I can actually cast magic on the other side of the waterfall. I don't know where his anti-magic stuff or whatever he's got, his wards and stuff, comes into play. Oh, it didn't stop you from casting it, didn't it? Just like
Yep.
go. It goes. He has just cast this.
Yeah. So you cross over. And I've never ever been able to find an appropriate map for what I imagined Mordenkainen's cave looking right. But to remind you, it's obviously it's a medium-sized, sort of very naturally walled cave. Everything about it suggests, nothing's been carved. It's just been filled with all manner of things to make it more homely. There are tapestries on the wall, bookshelves. It's well lit with just like warm torches. There is, opposite the entrance, you're as you step through the waterfall, you're on like a large fine rug that your characters may not know, but we would know is like a zebra. Tables with large drawing like tables that have complex graphs on. You remember you saw like all the diagrams of the different planes he'd been traveling and the overlaid realities. Countless bookshelves, sprigs of just hanging herbs and reagents from the ceiling, and yes, on top of the bookshelf directly opposite the door, a large device that was like a wooden table with a brass horn on top of it, a very wide sort of flowered horn that we recognise as being a gramophone. And when you do come through, no music is playing at the moment, but as you cast prestidigitation, it does just with a bit of that still scratchy beginning of a vinyl being played. It does pop up and just go prestidigitation, transmutation, bartandalus, and then just crackles back down.
It identified me as Bartandless, guys.
So it's wrong.
My new true name.
Poe.
The firmware needs updating.
He has taken it as his name, and it is true.
Yeah. Is Mordenkainen in here?
He is.
A bit anticlimactic if he wasn't.
He steps in. He steps in behind you through the water, entirely dry. We get his token.
Oh, token. I mean, it's getting serious.
Yeah.
Hey, he's had a
Right.
token for so damn long. Does his name show for you? Check. Yeah. So yeah, he steps in behind you, holding his staff, but then sort of like lower. You see he's holding it quite defensively, and he lowers it when he sees it's yourselves, and he's like, "Ah, very good, very good. What brings you here? Is the time at hand?
I think we're there. We've managed to cleanse the Thanes. We are now looking to gather what few allies we have remaining to us. We're hoping you might be able to expedite that some. It is a lot of traveling across Barovia, as small as this plane is.
I cannot simply send you, but I could take you with me and then depart, or I could simply send messages from here to those you deem prudent. And he just sort of sweeps his hand, and some of the tables slightly rearrange. It ends up leaving a large table in the centre around you all, which is just sort of like it's high enough that you. This isn't a table you'd sit at. This is a standing at table, and he just drifts over to it and says, "What steps do you suggest we take? What are your intents?"
I have a question. Do you have access to spell components that might be useful for us? This place is quite sparse in terms of the more costly spell components.
And he just gestures around to the to like all the hanging herbs and stuff. He's like, "I have been able to leave to replenish any items, but I have some things. What are you thinking of, other than the obvious? Of which, unfortunately, I have but one."
Would you give it to us?
Well, one is more than we currently have. I will check our list and see if there's any other things that might be prudent, but similarly expensive, I think, for the most part, if anything. Out of character, I haven't added any spells for Corey yet, but as an example...
Then she doesn't have any.
Summon Elemental was one of the options, and it requires like a 400 gold vial that's inlaid with gold and contains water or something ridiculous.
Okay.
But I'm never going to choose that spell anyway.
It needs a what?
It's like a 400 gold... 400 gold's worth, like a vial that's inlaid with gold, and then it contains water.
And
Yes,
didn't we
I
have
have
like one of the
several of
canoptic
them.
jars? Didn't one of the canoptic jars have stuff like that? Would that work?
They were not near. One was silver, one was mithril, one was electrum, I think.
Adamantine, I
There
thought.
we
one
go.
was,
Adamantine?
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Let me read you what it
I think we had
it
adamantine
actually
instead of
says.
electrum.
It says air, a pebble, ash, and water inside a gold inlaid vial with at least 400 gold.
No, that's not what they are. They're not vials. They're not gold inlaid.
Does he have one?
Do you have any spells that you might need components for, Botandless? I know clerics have expensive taste.
I seem to be pretty well covered. Enough that's got me going.
Good. I think other than diamonds, we should mostly be fine.
You will not be. You will need to have something done with this. And he just waves his hand, and a thud lands on the table. Botandalus, you immediately recognise it to be a sizable amount of silver in ingot form. Approximately 50 gold's worth. Should find someone who can convert it into holy water.
Out of character, do we know how useful holy water is in the whole vampire fight? I'm sure it was in one of the books.
We've used it. We've used it a few
But like,
times.
what is its effect?
As an action, you can splash the contents of this flask onto a creature within 5 feet of you, or throw it up to 20 feet, shattering it on impact. In either case, make a ranged attack against the target creature, treating the holy water as an improvised weapon. If the target is a fiend or undead, it takes 2d6 radiant damage.
Okay, that's not bad.
So...
How much are we likely to be able to get for that amount of silver?
2 vials. It takes 25 gold pieces worth of powdered silver to make holy water, which I can do.
And am I remembering this, or is this an old edition? Are some undead vulnerable to radiant?
Fiends or undead. If the target is fiend or undead, it takes 2d6 radiant damage.
Undead are not always vulnerable to radiant in 5e.
Okay.
I think
Some
fiends
are.
and shadow creatures definitely are. But if you splash out anything else, it's not going to do any damage, but it's still only 2d6 radiant damage. The only benefit with radiant damage... I'll say this in character, I'll say it.
I know that it can hurt both fiends and undead. Time here, but there are things that we can do that are far more powerful to hurt and hinder these creatures. Do you know of any reason or anything that we might find holy water more useful for?
Perhaps consult your Tome of Foes.
If not the immediate effects of the liquid itself, it's disruptive to their regenerative abilities. It can often be more of a tactical usage than outright destruction.
That is useful.
I'm presuming that is more particular to vampire, or is
Indeed.
that all?
Typically anything born of undeath that reduces and shrugs off its wounds.
Is that holy water or all radiant damage?
I have found that anything that inflicts holy wrath upon such creatures, so spells, blessed water, all has the same effect. Typically, you understand. And unfortunately, not everything here is typical.
Well, don't count out your sacred flames yet, Botanulus.
Indeed.
Did you ever manage to use any on Strahd? Did it impact him at all?
Sacred flames? That is not particularly something I have experienced in. I was more elemental in my approach. As I said before, I made the mistake of underestimating both his arcane prowess and particularly that of his consort. I had fought as many times before, despite not using radiant magic myself. My mastery of the art and those particular spells would simply overwhelm what defences he had, despite the lack of vulnerability. But yet I was gravely mistaken.
Well, I'll be able to do something with this, and I pick up the 2 ingots or whatever there and just give him a nod.
Very good. Now, who do we trust enough to contact?
What do you know of the Dusk Elves that reside at the Vallaki Vistani camp?
I know that although they are few in my world, they are even fewer here and seemingly have all been culled to a handful.
Do you know whether they have any arcane abilities themselves inherently, or would you consider them...
Not inherent, they can study it, as can all with the aptitude. I spoke a little with the more local Vistania about them. It seems they are mostly depressed and disenfranchised, miserable old wretches waiting to perish. Their spokesman has some small arcane aptitude, I would call it, but seemingly nothing. From what I understood of stories of the locals, it was his late sister who was more equipped in those arts.
Potentially more of a liability in Ravenloft than an ally.
I believe personally that most beyond this room may be considered liabilities in what is to come. You should choose very carefully who you petition for aid. If a mind is bent by Strahd's magics, even if the ally themselves is not formidable, the pressure and the decision they can place on you to spare their life could be all the distraction Strahd needs.
Look to the other three. Then do we bring anyone? We have the Keepers of the Feather. I believe that Davian could be a great ally, but would he come?
In that case, we should think about leaving Halvor behind.
I mean, Davian is also the most frail. Don't think he's built for battles or battle magic.
He was able to teach me when I came here. Whilst I wasn't the most accomplished magic user. For someone here like that, I don't know. It could be of use if we knew just exactly what it was he could do.
What do you think of Damien and Muriel? They are proficient fighters, but do we just risk too much that they are slain?
I think we ask them. Their fight against Strahd, or at least their actions to oppose him, have gone on for far longer than ours have.
Absolutely, I think that Muriel would be very upset if we didn't at least consult her first.
And what
She
of
has a right
Ismark?
to the fight too. Ismark too, he lost his sister.
He did, but he hasn't necessarily proven himself as a more accomplished fighter.
I mean, the impression I got was always that Arena was the better fighter.
And I nod.
The Burgomaster's son, yes?
Yeah.
Spirited chap, but I do not consider him to be... He did not impress me with martial prowess when I saw him. He may serve as a useful distraction at a point. You understand, of course, that lives are expendable here.
We
Aren't
do
they
understand.
everywhere?
Good, as long as we're agreed.
I think the reality, as you say, that we have to face is that every person that we bring, it might not be that their lives are taken. It may very well be that we have to take them if they are turned against us.
Precisely. Anyone you bring with you should consider to have already died.
I looked at Esmeralda. Undoubtedly you're gonna be coming. Is it worth reaching out to Rudolph?
You could, I don't have the means to, but... Oh, I don't think she has the means to. How have I forgotten this at this point of the game?
She is. This is a sudden spell she's pulling out of her.
Yeah, she doesn't, man, yeah. Sorry, all those times I let you...
It's not the first time she's done that, either.
You could ask him and tell him that we're going in, and if he isn't coming with us, I can't pretend to understand what it is he is doing.
Well, I think that the Keepers of the Feather and Van Richten are the closest thing that we have to heroes to fight alongside us, so I don't think that we should turn our nose about them. Everyone here has been trapped in this plane for who knows how long. I think perhaps that it should be everybody's right to choose to fight their way out, no matter what that might result in.
But the more we bring, the more people we might have to fight ourselves. We might be bringing them to make our lives easier, but in doing so, make them much harder.
But perhaps the help will outweigh the difficulty that we encounter.
I dare say that those we bring wouldn't be that hard to put any of them down. Not physically. If we can all separate ourselves from it mentally, then it shouldn't be much issue.
I think it's come to the point where we have little choice.
So far, are we talking about the keepers, or are we just talking specifically about Davian and Muriel?
I mean, they're the young, fit ones.
No,
so
Davian is the old man. Are you thinking Adrian?
Yes.
Okay.
I was thinking Adrian, Muriel, and maybe Davian.
Yeah.
Is it worth going to see Ismark to see if he's got diamonds?
Nobody has diamonds. I think we've already asked Ismark for
Yeah.
I think all of his wealth was what he gave us as a reward.
It was.
pretty much, yeah.
Damn.
He basically damned the village to pay you to protect his sister.
Look how that turned out.
So are you going to Ismark, or is that still up in the air?
Ismark, I
Is that being
feel,
talked through?
is 50-50. Of all the people we've mentioned, I imagine he is the most inept.
But the most motivated as well. And I feel that Cora would feel some...
Hey, then
duty.
talk it out and have a conversation in character.
Oh.
You stood around a table.
I feel he's the most likely to fall in battle or be swayed by the enemy.
I worry he's not going to be able to live with himself if he doesn't try and avenge his sister.
That is indeed a heavy cross to bear. Honestly, I'm kind of with you in that I feel that we should offer him that chance and the choice of his own.
As Mordenkainen says, he may serve a distraction, particularly if he was able to pull together a retinue of guards and able bodies from Barovia. I wouldn't trust anybody from Vallaki to do it, and there's no one left in Krezk. But Barovia, we might be able to get some able bodies.
And I look around, and is there like any blank sheets of paper? I know he had like loads of maps and stuff that he was drawing.
But yeah, there's paper everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just very messy with paper.
I'll pick up a big blank. I want a big blank sheet of it, and like,
Yeah,
Am I okay to use this, Mordenkainen?
you may. Yes.
and I will spread it out on the table in front of us, and I will hold my hands over it, and I don't know what the reverse of it is, but then I will start spending time. I think it took 10 minutes to put the last picture I took was of the model of Ravenloft when we were in the dark in the Amber Temple.
Yeah.
I'm going to make like a big blueprint from the outside of Ravenloft. I'll just kind of like take time to start, and that starts like appearing in a larger form on this large sheet of paper.
The other thing to consider is Strahd's hold over the beasts of this place. If he happens to regain control of the wolves or of the bats or whatever, if they start swarming towards the place, they could easily overpower us in great number. Maybe we have some people waiting to prevent anything joining them.
People on the outside.
That's certainly something that Ismark and his band of many merry men could help with.
His band of many men. I love
Many
it.
merry men.
Looking at that now, and obviously we have been there, is access to Ravenloft only over that bridge?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless you were to try
Can't
and
be holding the
brawn
door.
it. I mean, I suppose for you,
For me, what?
you could just walk,
Right, yeah.
spider climb down and walk back up.
Oh, yeah.
So how about we all fly on owls to the top of the big main tower, and then just end
Work
the
our way
campaign?
down.
It's a valid strategy.
Is
We're
that
gonna
how
do-
we get out? We just have to get to that top tower and we're good.
Well, that's where we said that Kazan's thingy was, wasn't it?
I thought that's what the heart was.
Heart was, yeah. I thought Kazan had made that part of the. I mean, he made all of Ravenloft, but I thought there was something about Kazan about that bit.
You know when we went to the Van Richten's tower and they had that spell around it that stopped any magic working within it? Do you think that's going to be a likely thing that we'd be likely to face again?
Possible, yeah. If Kazan made them both.
That would screw my owls.
Or at least in part of the tower, maybe. Probably not across the entire place.
Because then Strahd couldn't do anything. Or could he?
Yeah, if we know that the heart is in a particular tower, is it a good idea to try and get in straight into there?
Let's stick to in character as much as we can. This is a planning session around the table. This is Danny and a lieutenant around the table.
We could fly up and over, swoop in through a smashed window, and annihilate the heart before Strahd has a chance to react. Huh, that's likely to happen, right?
Or we could at least send Norris or potentially Angelo up to at least see what's up there.
I don't think it'll happen.
I do feel like there must be some kind of protective enchantments.
Yeah. He's gonna know we're coming, he's gonna see everything we're doing. We try to send anything up there and get eyes on it. It's gonna get blown out of the sky or suddenly evaporate. And then we're left without them. This is gonna happen. What Strahd wants from this is for us to think we're gonna win. That's all it is. It's one big game to him now. He could have stopped this at any point. He wants us to come. He wants us to think we're getting far.
Scrying, divination, Strahd von Zarovich.
I just kind of look around. You know we're coming.
Anything that anyone can do about that?
Come on, kind of.
Yeah, Mon kind of just looks around the room and then just points at a place you can't see up in the corner near the wall. Is Angelo out? No, Angelo. Did Angelo get wrecked? I can't remember.
He's not got wrecked, but he's not out.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he just points up at a portion, like almost where floor meets ceiling. There.
Okay, now.
Scrying orb.
You can't get rid of it.
And he just reaches into like his sleeve for a moment. Let's check something. Yeah, he just reaches into his sleeve for a moment and sort of just rotates his hand around before pushing it gently in that direction. And just to dispel magic, abjuration, Morden, Strahd von Zarovich, no, Morden kind of, and just a moment later he nods. He's like, "You must have been seen entering." It's the second time he has done this when you are here.
Well, they took some of my hair, so I think they have an easy time following our movements tonight.
Indeed, it anchors such a spell tremendously. The only more sure way to track you would be to have your blood. Does he have any of your blood?
mean,
Most likely. We've fought enough of his people anyway, so...
I mean, none has been extracted, so to speak, but we've fought plenty of hard-fought battles together,
I mean,
so it's possible.
with all due respect, he has done that much to us. We could have had our blood extracted and literally just not remember.
Did we not get vampired at some point? Did I get vampired at some point?
You've been. I think all of you have been bitten at some point in combat, but yeah, you've been chomped a couple of times. But I don't think you've ever been bitten by a vampire spawn that hasn't then been annihilated in that combat.
That's good. I'm pleased about that.
Strahd getting them all to run back to Ravenloft and purge into bedpans. Morden kind of looks like the blueprint sketch you've done, and he sort of looks a few times and squints at it from a couple of different angles, and then he is going to make it spring up like a programmed illusion to 3D like glowing version of it on the table.
A Minority Report.
Yeah. The gate and bridge are highly defensible. What are we thinking? Attacking from the front, or an infiltration?
Are you with us all the way, or have you got your own ideas?
I have my own ideas. I shall arrive at a timely moment. I think I am best served waiting for Ludmilla to show her hand. If you are dealing with Strahd or his forces, I can take it out of the game.
And you... Or will you be scrying upon us? So that you know when to make your move?
I will give you a means of summoning me, and then I can be there a matter of seconds later.
Could you bring people with you?
Unless they're of journeyman or higher magical competence, it is too risky. People are often debilitated for a time after being transposed. I could bring someone like this Davian with me, but certainly no Ismark or Commoner. They would fall to the floor retching, unless I am to teleport a distraction with me, which is a tactic, but
Rather
not a
pull up to
particularly
stay.
indeed. That is accepting that our companions may die and offering them up as bait. There's an important distinction between the two, I feel.
Looking over the castle, I looked at Esmeralda.
How did you get in last time?
The back door. That is... I essentially climbed with pittons around, sort of gestures to like around the castle to around here, and got into the back courtyard and into the servants' entrance.
I look her up and down. I thought you hated climbing.
I do.
I'm shit at it.
Must have been quite some determination to do that.
From the servants' quarters, it's possible to go both up and down. I did not see what was down.
What did you see when you were in there?
A chapel, a terribly decrepit and abandoned chapel, and the audience hall above it. A long corridor heading westwards, and beyond that an audience hall, and that is where I found him.
What?
Strahd.
What do you think? Do you think it is worth trying to do this, the same plan of attack with our intrepid crew?
I would suspect, or I would imagine, he must surely have accounted for the weaknesses highlighted by I believe he called it burglary. But then again, he also seems not to care about many things.
Well, if we hope to make it through the front door, you would imagine that the front door would be quite well defended as it is.
The audience hall. You saw it? Was that...
I did. I ran through it as I leapt from a window. You remember that she was attacked.
Is that where we were?
No. This is upstairs. She's saying.
Okay.
Yeah, you remember that she was attacked by Strahd and Ludmilla and had to fling herself out the window to escape.
What floor was that on? The next floor?
The first floor, yes, because we're all British.
Mm-hmm.
1 second, Thomas is here.
What do you think about Tandalus? In the front or in the back?
Why not both?
I fear what might happen if we were separated.
I think if there's a small force that looks to be going across the bridge, draws out any attention, it might allow us to sneak into the back. He knows that we have Esmeralda with us, so on the one hand, he knows that we know how she got in. But I like to think he believes we're intelligent enough to not to try and do something like that again. So maybe we should try and do it again.
I like your logic.
I could at least... I could hide us for a time using this holy symbol. It should be able to shield us from his scrying. Perhaps.
All of us?
For a time. If I use charges on it, it will... Take details. Mental barrier. Anyone who wears a symbol of Ravenkind gains the benefits of non-detection spell and is immune to psychic damage. As an action, the wearer can expend 2 charges to project this effect in a 15-foot radius around themselves. So, provided we move together, and we can get across there in an hour. And I look at Esmeralda. Fancy making that journey again? And could we do it in an hour?
Do we think that the owls are too obvious to do this, or the spiders would make it much easier?
I certainly think they're a possibility, but I think the main concern is, do we want to start to use that resource before it's absolutely necessary? But
Then
it would
yes, we
certainly
could
save
try and climb
our
it.
strength and time compared to climbing, I imagine.
I was absolutely exhausted after making that climb. It was several hours of sideways shimmying and clinging for dear life.
That doesn't sound a lot of fun.
It wasn't fun, but it wasn't there for fun, and I did it with one leg. I imagine it'd be a little bit easier. But yes, not the most pleasant of experiences, but a highly necessary one. Just going on my list of allies, are we just leaving it at Keepers and Ismark then? Should I close that article, or do you think you're going to revisit the idea
Of what?
of potential allies?
I think Keepers, Ismark, and Van Richten. It sounds like the Dusk Elves aren't going to be a goer. So yeah.
Martikovs, no?
Well, they're Keepers, yeah.
Yeah.
But the other Martikovs, did you not think of
I
those,
mean, they don't have it. They're just commoners, aren't they?
She's magic.
Yeah, but
Mildly.
Those are the spells we've seen are probably the best she's got.
Well, just because that's all you've seen, don't judge a book by its colour, you know?
She's actually a level 20 wizard.
Just
can
not one of the
change
showy
around.
types like you.
She's Tasha.
By the way,
Just
Cora,
don't know
you
yet.
notice that as you stood here, Mordenkainen's robes just kind of like billow around him quite gently as you're talking at all times.
Showy.
Joey.
There's certainly few of us enough currently, and even with a couple of additional allies, that we could fly or climb in with help.
If we did use the owls, providing we stuck close together, that could expand the mental barrier to hide us all in our approach, dismiss them when they get there. I don't think it'd be too long until Strahd knows that we're there, but it might give us a little window before he can send his forces to greet us. Especially if we have a distraction at the bridge. Trying to draw them to the front of the castle while we head up in the back.
What distraction do you have in mind?
Ismark, some guards.
An attempt
That's
to...
not a bad idea. That's at least a reasonable thing for him to expect to be facing. Although he's just going to come and slaughter them if that's what we're using him for. Whereas using them as prevention for anything coming to join Strahd, I feel at least they have a chance.
Could try and work their way in. I imagine that once Strahd realizes that we're inside, he might draw all his forces. I think there's a good chance, though, that when Ismark gets inside, he's gonna go renegade. He isn't gonna stick to any plan. He's gonna go looking for Strahd.
But if he knows that we're the best bet to get rid of him, then surely he'd listen to us.
Well, he almost got a cohort of guards and assaulted Ravenloft himself.
I think it might be worth trying to persuade him.
Fool.
Let him go in the front. It's not bait, it's not sacrifice. It will help us, but in all likelihood he's gonna die. But he was willing to give his life anyway, so
He might be, but is taking his guards along for the ride fair.
I think they'll all be willing to give their lives to avenge Irina.
You have been here lucid longer than I was, certainly before. I fell, but then again I am somewhat more educated and observant than you are. You must now have realized these people are not truly real.
No, we know that.
If you succeed, then they will be freed, and whatever form that takes will be a form of peace. If you fail, then in a few years or decades they will simply return anyway. Perhaps in a different body or as a different person, but the soul will return. So it is not really a true death in either sense. Or in
It doesn't mean
either
there won't be
outcome,
suffering.
rather.
It doesn't mean there won't be people that miss them. Their
My
death
dear
will
girl,
still
there
be
is
felt just
always
as badly.
suffering.
It is
I
the
think-
greater good. What we're trying to do here. It always has been.
Well, let's not try and disguise it as anything other than it is, though. Men sacrificing their lives.
If you can call them men.
Could you
That
call
is-
Arena a woman? Could you call Muriel? Any of the others we've met here?
I mean, if we die here, I think we suffer the same fate. Trapped forever.
It's not fair to say that they're not people, that they wouldn't suffer in the same way we would, and their lives aren't valuable.
I think they would come back and they would repeat their same torture over and over again, whatever they are. Imagine if we died here. We ain't coming back from nothing. I don't know where we go, but it wouldn't be good. No, we're not the same.
I'm not sure that we can say that. No one that we know like us has died here before to know what would happen. Why wouldn't we just come back the same as them?
I don't know. I don't know much of you, and I nod at Mod and Kynan. From the little I have heard, and what I've seen on your charts and the places you've been and the things you've seen. If you tell me that the people here aren't people, I'm inclined to agree with that. It's been my own thought process for a long time now anyway, the things we've seen.
Then why have we bothered with any of this? Why have we helped people along our way? Why have we done things for the people here if that's all they are? Just things.
Have they not been means to the ends of you leaving this place?
Not everything we've done has, no. We've helped people.
Then that is very commendable. But still, it brings you to this point, the nexus of all your choices. Your attempt to leave this place. And let us be frank, none of you are destroying Strahd entirely out of altruism. It is because you know he holds the keys. This is your means of leaving this place. All of our means of leaving.
We were given the means of leaving this place. When we fell through the roots of the Gulfire's tree, we were given the chance to be reunited with our loved ones, and we chose not to because we believed that we were doing something good.
The reason I came back, but my reason wasn't to help the people in Barovia. It was to help you and Halvor. I know who you are. I know where you came from. The rest of the people here. When I came back and I went to visit Anya, I didn't feel the same as I did. Something's changed in that time. Maybe it just took a long time to wake up from the situation that we're actually living in.
I'm not going to dehumanize them. These people's lives matter. I'm not going to change my view on that. Halvor, what do you think?
I mean, I think that we should give them, anyone who's interested, a chance to fight and die for what they believe in, if they want to. And I will fight hard alongside them. But I think if they do die alongside us, then at least if we succeed, their souls will be free. Free to be with whatever gods they keep. And I think that's better than being trapped for eternity.
I looked to Esmeralda. You've been beyond the mists, right? You've not been here all this time.
I have. I've been to your place, to Beck, and I've been to Faerun.
What of the people here? Are they the same? Are they people? Or are they part of Strahd's machinations of what a land should look like?
Some of them are certainly real. I've travelled beyond the mist with Vistana. I have seen people here who I recognise from beyond, and they are not copies. They are people who have travelled. Some people here are people. Others not so. I believe at least the Vistani and those who are brought in beyond mists by Strahd's agents or the werewolves. They had a life before. They cannot be part of this cycle of reincarnation, for they are an outside influence. But I don't know if they join it if they die.
What of the common folk? The guards, the shopkeepers, the people that by all means have no great destiny seemingly put upon them. Are they just another cog in this wheel? This whole terrible machine that he's constructed?
If it is anything like Tatiana, then yes, I would presume so.
Well, I wouldn't say that he's constructed it. If so, I think he'd have a bit more control over it, such as Tatiana. It's
I
more
think he
like
might have
a
constructed it.
prison.
I think he might have constructed it, but I don't think he's necessarily driving it.
Well, regardless, do you think we should approach some of our potential allies?
I do, but I guess we have to determine to what means and what ends. If Cora's uncomfortable with us bringing
I'm not
people-
uncomfortable with us bringing people, but I don't think that we should be using them as cannon fodder.
We're not. Not
You
by
were
any
saying of
means.
using them as a diversion. You know that if that happens, that they're just going to get slaughtered instantly.
Then we don't use them at all. What other use would they have?
To prevent more things joining Strahd.
How?
For example, if they held the path without entering the front gate of Ravenloft, then they could be a wall of defense against reinforcements from werewolves and the like.
You think that the guards of Barovia and Ismark could hold off the werewolves?
I think they can do a better job of that than as if nothing was there. And probably as good a job of that as them knocking on his front door.
I think that they've probably fought such creatures in the past. They're going to be familiar with them. They're going to know at least what they're facing in that instance.
We could bolster them with a few weapons. They would certainly need at least silver.
Alright. We have some tools at our disposal. We have holy water. For us, in Ravenloft, we have the possibility to silver some weapons to potentially help them to keep any reinforcements, but in all honesty, we saw Anastasia just appear, the whole pack of wolves. Why you think that they would have to run all the way across Barovia and up a path and across a bridge?
Because, like we said before, there's potential for there to be areas, and I imagine probably that bridge that stops magic crossing it.
I had forgotten about the teleporting werewolves. But, I mean, she arrived with, 4 werewolves. I don't feel like that's the same as putting the call out to the pack.
Yeah. How many... Did we get a general idea of how many guards are in Barovia?
In the village of Barovia, 15.
15. Ismark. Over a dozen guards. Which for a place like this, they're probably nothing more than the most able-bodied veterans in the town. They're not trained guards like we'd find in the cities back home. You put them in front of the pack, not even the 4 werewolves that we faced. You put them in front of the pack, then they are cannon fodder.
Then probably best to not bother bringing them at all. The distraction that they would pose would probably last seconds at best.
The distraction would, I think, let us get in. But that's all that they're going to be useful for. A distraction. Let's not try and imply anything else. Let's not try and imply that they're going to serve some greater goal here. They are not. They
Then
will not
perhaps a
die.
stealthy approach is the best. Relying on our own stealth abilities.
Is there any way that we could make Strahd think that the tower was under attack? drive him up there while we're trying to get in the other way. That's an area we know that he's going to want to defend, and he'll probably send all of his resources up there, I would have thought.
I think if it was anybody else, if we were dealing with any noble lord and this was an assault on a castle, then I think that would be one hell of a plan. But I don't think there's anything that we can do to trick Strahd. I think we can go unnoticed for a very, very small window, perhaps. But he already knows we're coming.
So you think it's worth trying to attempt the back door?
I think that should be the way in that we go. I think we use the owls. I try and shield us as we get there. I'd prefer to have people on the bridge to draw some of the forces away. But if you feel uncomfortable about that, then that's a different matter. That's the only use that I see for Ismark. I don't want to bring him with us. I don't think he's strong enough to stand by our side. Muriel's proven herself. We fought with Adrian, who was more than capable holding his own against the werewolves.
So what, we leave those two to fend off the werewolves?
No, I think they could potentially come with us. If we're not gonna use Ismark and the guards at the front door, then I don't think we should bring them at all. They're not skilled enough to come with us.
Maybe we could just put Ismark on the back of one of the owls to fire alchemist fire at the tower.
Yeah,
I'm sure he would enjoy it.
I imagine
Bombarding Strahd's castle.
Fuck you, Strahd!
for the brief moment until his owl suddenly disappeared from underneath him.
Hey, why is that going to happen?
I mean, it's not the first time that you've lost concentration or that there might be some spell that kills an owl. They are not the toughest creatures.
I think it's less likely that he lose concentration and more likely that he shoots spells at the owl.
They could simply just be dispelled out from underneath him.
I fancy his chances more doing that than I do standing him on the bridge at the front.
There's
So,
one owl down in terms of carrying us, though.
I can have 7 to carry us. And to be honest, multiple people could fit on one as long as they're not you, Halvor.
so decisions are to be made. You are to fly around and infiltrate from the ground floor on the back. Are you committing the Burgomaster's son and his men to a frontal assault then, or choosing something else? Let us decide. He looks between each of you.
I don't think, as much as I want to give him the chance to do what he wants to do, I think that Ismark is more of a liability than he'll be a help. Even as a distraction goes, I think he will... I don't think he can see past the end of his nose. I think he would, at the first chance, try and challenge Strahd to single combat or charge headlong into the fray and last for exactly 6 seconds.
It could be all the time you need to set up a decisive blow yourself.
I think at best that'll be time that we use to try and clamber over his walls.
Very well, so no distraction from the front.
That's what I'm leaning towards. What do you two say?
I don't see that we have many better options, to be honest.
I'd use them. I'd give Ismark his moment in the sun, finding whatever he faces on the bridge. Buys us a brief opportunity, because we're going to need every single one that we can get in Ravenloft. It might not be much, but it might be the thing that pushes us over the edge. I don't believe that we should let any chance that we might have of even getting one step ahead of Strahd. I don't think we should let any of them go. We should take those chances. We should put people on the bridge. Let them be the distraction. Buy us a small opportunity to get in through the back door.
So that's Bartandalus 4. Halvor.
Alvor is currently waiting to hear Cora speak.
And
If
I
that's
hold
what
my hand up to Cora. I say, "Why don't we ask Ismark if he's willing to be part of that plan? Let him make the decision."
That's what I was about to say. If he chooses
then-
that,
And then I
that's
nod.
his choice.
Yeah,
Cool.
That seems fair.
Okay, so currently plan is potentially, if he's up for it, Ismark and some men storm the front or hold, attacking the bridge as a distraction, while you owl fly around to the back and enter via the back door.
hidden under mental barrier.
Yeah.
Hopefully, and then Davian comes in with Mordenkainen when we're facing off against Ludmilla.
Okay, what about...
Muriel and Adrian.
Yes. What do you see
I
their
think-
role being?
I think they could come with us, or
Or what?
they could wait until we've cleared more of a path.
Well, they'd still probably need to come with us initially, you know? Otherwise, how would they get to us?
Muriel's a pretty good climber. We saw her at the windmill.
True, but it's a long way.
Is that not the kind of magic that we think that Davian could have?
Maybe.
What, the magic to climb good?
No, the magic like to summon owls and stuff like that.
Owls? He's got a brand to uphold.
Alright, giant ravens. Swarms of ravens lifting them up.
Sure, I'm potentially happy for us to take the lead and then be more to the back. Although, be aware, Adrian I don't think is much of a ranged warrior. I think he likes to fight with his fists and a sword. But
It's gonna take us some time to make our way through.
What about, and I'm looking over the map,
Why don't, when we've entered Ravenloft, we send a message to Davian, Adrian, and Muriel. And when we're up on this area, this rampart, if they can meet us at the gate on the bridge and we can see them, perhaps Cora could send down some owls, bring them up onto the ramparts with us. They don't have to fight all the way through. We don't chance losing them. If Ismark's still alive, with whatever he's faced on the bridge, then we could get more of our forces up onto this area. We clear out everything that we faced beforehand, and then we bring some reinforcements as we head up into the tower.
I don't hate that. The idea that they might survive longer that certainly doesn't hurt. So if they can come in at a later stage, that would be good. It's a little bit worrisome leaving them on their own in the near vicinity, but I hope they can fend for themselves.
I don't think it's that worrisome, to be honest. I don't think that anything of Strahd's forces is going to be left out there for them to worry about.
Would they not be part of this storming party with the Burgomaster's son? Add
Would be.
themselves to his numbers, and then we are plucked up to the ramparts when needed.
Whoever's left.
Didn't we decide that it was going to be an incredibly risky place to be? Do we want our main fighters in that risk?
I don't think they need to push hard. They just need to distract. I think once they
A
get out
skirmish
onto
would
the
be
bridge,
better rather than rushing and dying.
yeah, once we get out on the bridge, I guess we could equip them with some alchemist's fire, silver some of their weapons. Just try and get them to hold off. I don't know whether Ismark's been back in touch with the hunters who are keeping an eye on Barovia. I'm sure we'll find that out soon enough. If we could manage to recover one of the trick tubes, them, then we could send a message when we're ready.
Sounds good to me.
I
They
think
will join a skirmish in the front, and hopefully we'll be able to bring them up with us when needed.
yeah, they could feign a retreat.
Better to retreat slightly and protract the battle for longer and provide a longer distraction than to die for no reason.
And I look at the bridge.
I am, in my mind, envisioning people flying left, right, and center off the edge of that bridge.
Oh yeah, for sure. Do we think they could blow the bridge up? Or at least put a big enough dent in it that...
With them on which side?
This side. They fight, they skirmish, they retreat slightly, blow the bridge.
Mordenkainen is shaking his head.
Too big? Too thick?
Too enchanted. I attempted this myself. The castle is magical in nature. It is resilient and immutable. I attempted to some significantly destructive magics when I was fighting against Strahd on the bridge before I realized quite how sorcerous he was.
That's interesting that you say it's immutable. I was training in a spell that I thought might come in useful. Stone shape, to maybe allow me to pass through walls.
It may be worth trying. I did not try every step of the place. The entrance bridge is quite a defensible and sabotageable position, so it could have just been done to there, perhaps. Or perhaps every brick in the place is enchanted.
Okay. Okay. We give them the order that they're there to distract, draw out forces, use the bridge to their own advantage. They don't try and cross it, they don't try and get into Ravenloft. And then they hold back, and they wait for our signal. Wait for us to be on the ramparts, and then we will bring them with us. Hopefully. Hopefully Ismark won't get any right ideas.
We can but pray.
Hopefully with Davian among them, if he joins them. Some cooler heads might help.
If he ignores their advice, then on his own head be it, literally.
And
then once you are in, is it a plan, or simply stomp around cutting down everything you see, whittling down the numbers until you stumble upon Strahd?
in all honesty, I think we just keep trying to make our way to the tower once we've got our people. I don't think we can plan any further than that. I mean, we could, but we're going in blind. We don't know the interior. We don't know how many people there, and we don't know how many allies we're going to have when we get to the top. We could spend days planning for this, but the fact is that, as with most plans, this could all go Velsharoon's ass up the moment we enter that back door.
Making a beeline for the heart doesn't seem like a bad idea. But the best we can do is... I suppose we can orient ourselves based on the geography of we know of the tower from the outside. We know where in the castle that the tower should be and try and aim for it based on that. Plus, when we're inside the tower, not inside the tower, when we're inside Ravenloft, do you think it's worth using a locate object spell to try and locate some diamonds?
That was my idea. Don't try and put that off as your idea now. I said that on the dog walk
An
earlier on
excellent
today.
idea, Halvor.
Whatever.
It was her idea.
You are
Wow,
the savior of this party, Halvor.
shameless theft from your spouse. Lindsay, an excellent idea.
Thanks.
Do you think there's anything else that we might be able to use to our advantage if we were to find it inside? And I don't suppose it would be possible to locate the heart with magic, since for one thing it's probably protected, and the other is we're not familiar with it.
Can't you locate object for anything of that type in the area?
We don't know what it is. That's the problem. We could find diamonds. We actually don't know what the heart is.
Might not be literal. But yes, if there was somewhere to have diamonds in Barovia, then that seems like where they would be.
I also think we need to address this baby. What's gone on with this baby is the bit of the heart in there. That's still something that we never really worked out, except it's got to be in that tower, isn't it? So maybe not. Where's the baby?
A baby?
Oh, if anyone might know, maybe you will know more than Guy then.
I think we've already established. I think it's and I open the bag and I take out baby Sergey.
Oh my god, you kept the baby?
You all know I
Maybe kept the baby.
yeah, I brought him out.
It's the
on
best
on
ongoing
Slingshot.
joke where every time people are like, what?
And I take out the baby of the bag of holding.
Some kind of, I don't know, automaton. Something. Doesn't seem to be alive.
Place it on the table.
And I still lay it down quite gently.
We know. Do we know it was Strahd? I can't remember whether or not we're supposed to know it was called
No.
Strahd.
I know you don't.
Out of character, I'm a little bit concerned that even if we kill the heart, if part of him lives on elsewhere, Horcrux style, he's not going to die.
I think this was just I think this is something that the saga created because she brought up Strahd, and then Strahd is who he is now. I think she's just made her own baby to look after, like a weirdo. It's her own little Frankenstein.
Like those creepy doll babies that are so real.
Oh, born again dolls.
God, they are so creepy.
I had to once I saw a woman with one of them, clearly one of them, make another heavily pregnant woman get up to make room for her pram because the woman didn't realise it was a doll. Getting off into the bus driver like, that's a fucking doll, by the way. The woman's just like, oh, 8 months pregnant, standing around. He looks over this doll, this baby. For a few moments, he's like, this is the most tremendously finely crafted, for lack of a better word, flesh golem I have ever seen. You are right in that it is not alive. It carries every semblance of life, but I would imagine this does not age, does not grow. Clearly, by it being in your bag, it does not breathe, at least not for long. Unless you had already removed it.
It's been in there for a while now.
This is a facsimile of life.
Might pose useful.
Pardon?
It might become useful at some point.
What use do you envision for this? The undead will not see it as a distraction. They will sense the innate lack of life from it.
Imagine there's other creatures in Ravenloft.
You're going to feed it to them?
It's little more than meat.
It gives me the creeps. I really am. I'm not comfortable with it.
So you'd soon just kill it?
Yes.
It brings its feet up on the table and sort of like just kicks at the air a bit and waves its arm around looking like a finger to clench onto. Always silent though.
So creepy.
More useful as bait. And I pick it up quickly and just kind of like put it into the bag.
Okay. So how will you petition these allies? We had a short ride from the village. I can bring myself to your keepers.
Might be better everyone traveling from here, potentially. If you'd allow it.
The more people here, the more... Well, he already knows it's here. They
Only a
could.
stone's throw from Ravenloft. Makes it easier for us to...
If he puts forces on the bridge, it'll be difficult to ascend to begin our journey, though.
Which bridge?
The Sir Pool Bridge, when you leave and ascend up the slick path back towards the road. 1,000 feet, would you believe?
You think he's gonna put more forces outside to stop us getting to Ravenloft?
I'm saying if you gather all of your allies and bring them here to this cave at the bottom of a 1,000-foot path from a highly defensible bridge in one go, I would be surprised if you did not attempt to capitalize on that.
No reason we can't organize and tell everyone when to beware, rather than gather here and move as one. We could visit Ismark today, send messages to the Keepers of the Feather, and let them all know where they should be tomorrow morning.
We're just gonna presume they're gonna be there.
Sure.
Suppose it doesn't change anything if they're just there to be a distraction. But I feel like we should petition them in person.
Who?
The Keepers of the Feather in Ismark.
If they're going to be risking their lives, I agree.
That's fine by me, but we don't have to necessarily bring them with us and arrive together. I mean, they can move separately from us. Especially the Keepers of the Feather. We can send them messages and they can meet us in Vallaki or some such, rather than bring them here, you know.
If we had any... I suppose we do need to head back to Vallaki. Very well. Would you be able to assist us in our journey to the village of Barovia and then onto the winery? And then I mean, does it make any sense us staying around there? I suppose getting to Vallaki to get any supplies that we feel we might need.
So you wish to come to the village of Barovia?
Yeah.
I've just remembered that there was a shop in Barovia that had various magic items.
Do you want to go to fucking Bill Drafts?
Bill Drafts!
I'll have to dig up some fucking old fantasy ground document there. Shit.
He had some genuine magic items that we couldn't afford.
Yeah,
Well, now we have a load of money. Let's go do
Well,
it.
now literally can just go and kill him. We have the shield. He had the cloak of patches or the coat of patches.
Are you remembering this or is this notes? Because that's impressive if that's real.
Yeah, that's what I know. I know he had those because I know Halvor really wanted the shield at the time.
Yes.
And I know that he had the coat of patches where you pull off a patch and it's got like a rope on it or something random. I can't remember what it's called.
I'm sure it's just a +1 shield or something as well, but I was really tempted to travel back to Barovia to buy it once we got the money.
It was a +1 shield, and I kept trying to dissuade you from doing that because I knew that you were getting a very nice shield.
I think
You're like,
you
I might go
actually
back and-
told me, you're like, no, don't go back.
Yeah, I failed most of them in the end because you were so keen for it, and I thought he's going to blow a significant amount of his like early mid-game money on this, and then I know he's going to get a shield that will continue to be upgraded, and he'll be like, thanks. If I
Well, it mattered because we spent the money on fucking nothing.
I know.
We've still got all the money because there's been nothing to buy this entire time.
Who knows? We haven't been back to build drafts.
Well, no, we're just going to go and kill him. He's a bit of a twat. Let's just go murder him and steal his stuff.
However, guys,
like, I don't even know who you are.
So basically, we can't kill the guards because they've all got lives unless they've got stuff we want. In which case we
That's
can
exactly
murder
what
them.
Halvor just said to me. What's wrong with all you people? I'm allowed to be fickle.
Plus, her point was more not that it's something that he's got stuff that we want, and more that he was a dick. So.
He was a dick. and that is
Yeah,
true.
Ismark was lovely to us, bless him. He gave us money. He was really sweet. He was so accommodating. This dude was like, yeah, the price has just tripled, so whatever.
That is that. Oh my god, that is exactly how you've been. You wanted to kill Izek because he was a bit of a pain in the ass. You want to kill Bildraff because he's a bit of a pain in the ass.
To be fair,
Whereas
I had the charge on
if-
fighting Izek.
If people show some hospitality, doesn't matter if they're a fucking lich.
Yeah.
You'd be like, yeah, you're fine.
Cora
Being
values manners. I think
polite.
it's
It's
fine.
called manners, you know?
Don't cost you anything, and it'll save your life.
Well, yeah, jeez, man. It is that is a moral compass and a half.
I don't know why you're all laughing. That's genuinely how I live my life. Don't
I've
come
not-
around to my house with not expect chocolate biscuits. That's all I'm saying.
Ma'am.
You're getting seal bars all the way. Aldi's finest.
Honestly, if fucking we go in here and Strahd's like, oh, would you like me to put the kettle on? Or she's like, do you know what, guys? Game over. This guy's fine.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah,
you
would-
like
would-
a blue ribbon? Would you like a blue ribbon?
No, a Viscount.
Oh, nice.
Like,
Oh, with this Ferrero Rocher, you're really spoiling us, Strahd.
Right,
Of
so
course, he'd be a Ferrero Rocher guy.
you want Mordenkainen to take you all to a village of Barovia.
Yeah.
He beckons you all step closer as he does conjure up. I don't think all of you saw it last time. I think maybe just you saw it. It is unfortunate because it's in the asset menu. It's a very Doctor Strange sort of portal.
Oh no, Halvor was in the room with me.
Was he? Oh yeah, it was in my boys' bunk. Yeah.
I will say, as he's getting ready to cast this spell, like, do you actually have any magic items here that we could use? Because I know you gave us a big choice before, and we had to choose the best ones. But is there some things here that are going to be useful?
I came here with very little, as I expected to only be here a very short amount of time. So unfortunately, no.
But aren't there some items that we didn't take? We had to choose which ones we wanted.
They were relatively minor.
Yeah, they were minor. They were also in Fantasy Ground, so I'd really need to go back and see what they were. I remember one of them was like the fucking bounty hunter's flamethrower. That was never something I would intend. If you got your reputation up, you get all of them later on.
Oh man, we should be able to have a flamethrower.
Well, you could have. You could have had a flamethrower from level 3. Although what I didn't like about that, although it did kind of make sense given the nature of like a mechanical item with fuel, it was one of those things. It's like roll a d20 at 0 charges. If it's a 1, it's destroyed forever.
I mean, you didn't have to put that bit in, DM.
I did.
You had the DM.
I did, but that's what D&D. That's what D&D Wiki said, mate. And as we all know, D&D Wiki is a fucking Moses tablet. So.
Like Strahd's bridge.
To step through a portal. It is I don't think any of you have ever teleported before.
I've Misty stepped.
Does Jenny's tree not count?
That's true.
That's true.
No, Jenny's tree was very different. But yeah,
Yeah.
Misty Step is similar. Misty Step is a very quick, you drop into the floor, you reappear. With this, you just feel like you were slowly just stretched in a straight line through rock, over air, through ground. It is a horrible sort of stretching to the location, and then the part that you left on the floor in Mordenkainen's cave just slowly, like almost like viscously, just catches up with it, getting faster and faster. It is an extremely nauseating experience. Having never done it all before, could you all please make me a DC 16 Constitution saving throw?
And you stare at because we didn't open the iris. And we're all just splattered on the other side of the 1-inch iris.
The iris?
That was a Stargate SG-1 reference.
Oh, I know nothing.
Wow.
The second time in one day I've been told off for not knowing about Stargate. Oh, what's Barty going to get?
We are super good.
What was it? Constitution saving?
Yep,
throw?
DC 16. Yep. What form does your vomit take, Bartandalus? You all appear with a sudden, and your stomach just lurches.
I was expecting it to be more like Misty Step, and it went in a completely different direction, and I kind of like fall forwards, kind of like stagger to my knees, and spew up, and like the black ichor from my eyes, it is tinged black. Look at it for a moment. I can't look at it.
Don't be sick, or I'll be sick.
Don't do Mr. Come sick again! That's how we defeat Strahd. We just start puking in front of him, you know, if he's got a gag reflex.
So, the lights are not on. You find yourself outside the ramshackle church from the village of Barovia. You see in the faint mist in the distance high above, Castle Ravenloft looming. A couple of pinpricks of light visible on it. Bartandalus, your eyes drift to the
Is it nighttime now?
the rope. It is this usual level of dreariness. Maybe it's slightly lighter than this. It's about that.
Okay.
Your eyes drift to the rope hanging from the bell. And yeah, you are in the rainy village of Barovia.
Who did I pay? Did I pay Ismark a ton of money to see to start doing the church back up?
I think you talked about it.
No, I fucking gave him like 1,000 gold pieces. He had no money for ages.
Well, it was like a week ago.
He's done fuck all with it, has he?
Yeah, I've done fuck
mean,
all so far. No.
he's also the
I've
master of the entire
I've done
place.
fuck all with it.
Unbelievable.
He's probably been helping poor starving children and stuff, you know.
Why?
They're not even real people.
They're not
No,
people.
they're
Why
not
should we
people.
bother? Let's be horrible to everybody.
I mean, they've not offered me a cup of tea, all these kids, so...
Now you get it.
I look at the building and I can see that there's been no repairs and no work done on it, and I am, for a moment, quite riled up.
As you're doing this, you look around, you've been in this graveyard before, you do see a rather neatly organised pile of lumber in the the grounds outside, where it would look like some sort of perhaps materials are being stockpiled for some sort of construction effort happening soon.
Okay, so the DM has quickly reneged on that so that I don't go to Ismark, why the fuck, and completely derail everything. Okay.
And now
I
I'm
look
not
at-
going to come help you.
Yeah, so now I look at it and go,
Now I'm annoyed that the grass hasn't been mown.
I'm suddenly less aggravated all of a sudden.
Thought I was riled, but just the wind.
Okay, now I'm fine to go and treat with him and use him as cannon fodder.
okay.
So for some reason, the Village of Barovia animated map is no longer in here, in this world.
Do
But-
we need it?
Yeah, I'm just telling you that. It's basically me telling you that so that it isn't like, from the empty haunted church, steps Ismark. But yes, you're going to visit upon Ismark at his house. Don't know why he was not down as being friendly. Ismark von Zarovit.
He's even got his own border. Look at him.
Yeah, everyone who's official is an official token from the very legitimate website by which I got my Curse of Strahd module has like a grade border. Also, let us assume that Rhymefang has been teleported with you, I would imagine, and has been with you the whole time.
Sure.
He's just sat outside Mordenkainen's cave, like really nonplussed, like Seymour. So you go to his house, and he's actually outside his house. He's been he's carrying like, stones around. He's obviously sort of moving, rearranging sort of part of a set of wall that's come loose outside. You remember, of course, his house took heavy structural damage from the ogre zombies.
His house is fucking pristine now. The church is fucked. He's rebuilt his own house.
All these lovely gold idols of the Morning Lord are in his hall.
Okay. And I guess as this group with a giant fucking wolf are approaching, I'm presuming.
Yeah. He definitely sees you. And sort of near enough. He was just in the process of bending down to pick up a new rock, and as he sees you, he just basically just drops it down to the side and stands up. So, well met. I saw the light. Was that you?
It was.
Good. I thought you would send word soon enough, but even better to see you here in person.
Always intended to get in contact with you, but
Good.
resources constantly getting taxed. It's good to see you here.
Yes, well, I took your words to heart and knew you would send for me when it is time. Is it time? Should I prepare myself?
It would seem so. How's things been here since we last saw you?
Well enough. Renovations to the church are set to begin soon. He nods at Bartandalis. Resources have been bought, workmen have been contracted, and instructions have been left for how it is to continue if I do not return. I have 6 good men who have sworn themselves to coming with us. The rest will remain to defend the village if there is recompense from Strahd in the event of our failure.
Sounds good. Do they have adequate weapons?
They have swords, shields, and pikes. That is all.
Do you really think that if Strahd comes back seeking vengeance, that the remaining men you have will be able to do anything?
I think if Strahd came to our village seeking vengeance, all of us here now would not be able to stop him.
Then is there any point leaving them behind?
They wish to remain and feel they are defending their village and their families.
The best defense they could offer is by helping us to get rid of him in the first place, it seems to me.
And yet that is for them to decide, and we have discussed this at length in your absence. Some men will remain to defend the village. The rest of us will give our lives in this pursuit.
Well, I don't like the idea of the village being completely undefended anyway, even if it's, who knows what monsters out there could be lurking still. Do they have, maybe crossbows or some such?
We have a number of crossbows in the village, yes. We could bring them with us if you would prefer.
I just like the idea of, with thinking that a protracted skirmish might be best, so if they have ranged weapons in addition to close combat arms, then I think that would be wise.
So leave the pikes, swords and crossbows.
That's how I'd lean. What do you think they are most proficient with, or is it similar across the board?
Similar across the board. They are all trained to fight with a sword, or carry a pike most of the day on their duties, and all are proficient with crossbows for as and when needed.
Bring them all. They can drop the crossbows when they're no longer useful. Pick up their pikes until they're no longer useful, and then go to the sword. At which point, well, we'll see how useful they are.
Very well.
We have a plan. I don't know whether you're going to like it, but I think it's our best chance to kill Strahd, and that is ultimately the goal for everyone, I believe.
Then we should do it.
It's you and your men, and a few others, heading onto the bridge at Ravenloft, drawing out anybody from the front that might otherwise be extra defenses for us. Meanwhile, we'll sneak in the back. I think the four of us are going to be the best bet to defeat Strahd. And I look up into the sky at the light. But we will need brave men and women on that bridge to try and give us a window of opportunity. The intention is then that you draw them out, draw them back, and then retreat something if you must. When we're up on the ramparts at the front facing of Ravenloft, we will send a message, and we will send down. And I look over at Corin. Giant owls. They'll bring you to us. And from then on, we'll fight our way deeper into Ravenloft, and we'll face Strahd together. Providing you survive the bridge.
This is essentially what I had expected. So the men will agree to this. It's what we'd all come to terms with. I will speak to Periwinkle, a boy from the village, a good lad. He had agreed to come with, but I will impress upon him the gravity of what we are about to undertake. The rest of us are...
He's the boy that was with Bildraff, yes?
His nephew, yes. A simple lad, but good-natured. One of the strongest men I've seen. The boy isn't particularly ferocious or viciously minded, but once he gets swinging...
Then I think we all look forward to seeing him in action. Speaking of Bildraff, unless we were here, he had a number of items that may prove useful when we're up there. Do you think, as Burgomaster, you could procure them? I know that you already did it with the bag of holding, but if he knows where we're going, we could at least promise to bring him back tenfold if we come back.
What did he have that you were interested in?
Hard to recall everything. I know there was some cloak or something that might have proven useful. He had a few handy little things on it. Not much.
It was, if I recall, a robe of useful items.
Mm-hmm.
Any useful weapons or armor that might benefit your own men might also be wise.
Yeah, he has a shield. Magical one. If you're gonna be going in with a sword and shield, then better you equipped with it than it gathering dust on his shelf.
He
Now's
nods.
not the time to leave behind anything that might be needed.
I'm inclined to agree. I'll take my men and explain the situation to Bildraff and see what can be procured from the store.
I can provide some gold if that helps ease the transition.
I'll threaten to have him thrown in the stocks for impeding the liberation of our land. That should be transition enough.
I know that there's very little in the way of day and night here, but I'm presuming that the vampire do have a preferred time to sleep. I'll look over at Esmeralda. Any ideas? Are we better to make our attack during the day?
Outside of this place, yes, absolutely, but the sky, this choking cloud that we have seen Vampire in the day, we have seen Strahd in day, this obscures the cloud enough. They have no predictability. But back in the real world, yes, we would sleep during the day and emerge at night. The sun is terrible to them.
I would still advise that we fight during the day, for the time that we're on the bridge, or the time that we're outside of the castle itself, better than trying to
Visibility.
fight in the dark where we can't see anybody.
Indeed.
And so what say we? When do we wish Ismark and his men, and what forces he can gather? When do they meet on the bridge?
Should we say a couple of days to give us chance to rest and make any changes we need in Wallachia as well?
Very well. Let's say on the third day we meet an hour after dawn. That's when we'll begin the fight, under the watchful eye of Lathander.
At that, I give Bartandless a little bit of a sidelong glance.
You can Bartandless a side glance, you say?
Yeah, I know he's cozy with, or hasn't forsaken the Morning Lord, but, you know. And under who else's watchful eye?
Under his eye.
To summarise the events of Ismark's efforts, he gets the +1 shield for himself, he gets the robe of useful items for you, and he also gets 3 potions of healing, which he will distribute however you dictate.
Is the potion the robe of useful items attunement required?
I
Top of my head, I don't think
believe
so.
it does not.
Okay. So we can literally just have that in the bag and just pull off a patch as and when we need
Yeah,
it.
and the patches
Oh,
it
you can just
has,
wear it.
the patches it has are 2 daggers, 2 bullseye lantern, 2 steel mirrors, 2 10-foot poles, 2 hempen rope 50 foot, 2 sacks, and let me do it now. So roll
God, now that you hear it, they are very mundane items.
roll 4d4. So it has 11 other patches. Can someone please type these out for me?
I will do it now.
An iron door.
Nice.
Up to 10 feet wide, 10 feet high, barred on one side of choice, which you can place in any opening you can reach. It conforms to fit the open. Do you know what? I'm just going to copy and
That's
paste
not
them.
bad.
If
That's a good one.
if someone else can please drop these into a note or something, just so we have a
Sure.
list of them. So we have.
I'll put them into
11.
Discord.
Yes, thank you.
That's really good. That's awesome.
Next one is a window 2 by 4 feet, which you can place on any vertical surface you can reach.
These things are amazing.
Need to know what's in this room? Boom! It has a window.
Yeah. Well, but it stays there, I would imagine.
That's fine.
Yeah, but you can climb through into it.
4 potions of healing. So a patch that, when torn off, will turn into 4 potions of healing.
So we're going to just do that straight away, pretty much.
I would imagine so. Yeah.
Well, I'm
The patches never return or refresh. Once it's done, it's done.
So with these patches, do the items don't disappear though, do they? So like the window, we can pull the patch out, and then we've got a window, and then we place it. So can we just remove all the patches and put the stuff in the bag of holding, so we've already got them?
Yeah. Just we'll check, make sure they're not timed. Once you can once the last patch is removed. Doesn't say anything about them despawning and disappearing. You could just sit there, rip all the patches off, and
Yeah, makes sense now that we can. It seems like we can carry them all.
Okay, next item.
And and you said we had 4
Nice.
potions of healing off Ismac already, yeah?
No, 3 from him, 4 from
Okay.
the patch. You now also have a 12-foot rowboat.
Nice.
God, that would have been useful crossing the Lake Zarovich.
Why? We had a rowboat.
Yeah, but that's a much bigger, more stable.
A
standing one, and we
24-foot
wouldn't have had to
wooden
steal it.
ladder.
Are you writing these in now? You were copying.
Well, I didn't have a potion. Man. Then a couple of them were just really mundane.
24-foot ladder. Row.
So
What
that's
was it?
one.
12. Did you say 12-foot rowboat?
Yeah.
Nice.
1, 2, 3.
I'll probably not rip that patch
4,
off.
5. So 5 so
Oh,
far.
yeah, but we could drop that on someone.
Yeah, for sure.
5 so far. Number 6 is 4 potions of healing.
Oh my god, I can't believe we could have had this item so long ago.
This is the best time to use it.
It's like we've hoarded all the things until the end last boss.
This is Skyrim.
Spell scroll containing 1 spell of 1st to 3rd level. So let's have a look. 5e. Spell scroll was a really good site that can just generate it as needed by me. Let's have a look. Spell scroll.
Resurrection.
One's at 1st to 3rd. I don't think resurrection's a 3rd level
Yeah,
spell.
of course,
Is it?
it's a 3rd level spell.
Is it 3rd
Not
level?
resurrection, sorry, revivify.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right, let's have a look. So, spell level 1 to 3. Spell school any. Class any. Source book any.
Mag one can't
Generate
use that.
scroll. Okay, you tell me how many times you'd like me to click it. I'll let you specify a number. If you don't just want to go click 1 time, if someone wants to specify a number, I will tell you what it ends up being.
76.
Pardon, 26.
76.
76.
Fuck
he
off,
said.
really? Okay. It's
Just do
1,
just
2,
two. Just do
4,
2. It's
5,
fine.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21,
Dear God.
Stop. Just stop.
Stop. Illusory script. 1st level illusion ritual. Classes Bard, Warlock, Wizard. So you have a script.
I've already got it, and you never let me get any of the actual fucking.
That's
components
karma for you being a pain in the ass and saying 76, you know that?
Well,
I mean-
you don't need components for it because of the scroll.
Well, yeah, but
that
it's no fucking use now. I don't think. I mean, it's fine to have it.
Oh,
but,
script,
yeah.
script of illusory scroll. Oops.
Okay.
Okay, right. How many items is that so far? Sorry. You need.
1,
You got
2,
11
3,
extra patches.
4,
so
5, 6 we've had so far.
Okay, let's get these other ones done. 34. Another 24-foot wooden ladder.
Nice.
That's the 7th, right? Iron door, window, potion of healing, ladder, rowboat, healing,
Alright. Yeah.
script, ladder. Another ladder.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 8 we've had.
Okay, here's number 9. A silver coffer, 1 foot long, 6 inches wide and deep, worth 500 gold.
Silver though.
Yep, 500
So
gold's
fat.
worth of silver.
Nice! Holy shit! That's the best thing on here so far.
So that's number 9. Here's number 10. Another iron door.
Oh, sex.
And then your last one. 10 gems worth 100 gold pieces each. So basically 1,000 gold, yeah. None of which are diamonds, because it's not specified. Other diamonds are specified elsewhere.
Oh, what can you
Hey,
get diamonds?
97 to 100 was a portable ram. Strahd!
You see, instantly when you said that, I was thinking like a sheep.
I know. 52 to 59 was pit, a placeable pit. There's some fucking Penny Crayon vibes going on with this.
Ah, Penny Crayon.
She could do anything she likes.
She can draw anything she wishes.
That was
So I
it.
hear.
That's not the lyric, but okay. Penny Crayon could draw anything she wishes.
Yeah, you said anything she likes, and then Cora said anything she wishes.
Does it go on to say wishes?
Like
you
dogs
just
and
said
cats
it.
and butterflies and plates of chips and fishes.
Well, I have to get a hat and fucking eat it because I don't remember those part of the lyrics. Very good.
However, asking about family nest, you'll do that.
I'll
Ah,
fucking wreck
tune,
it. I will
family nest.
fucking bury you over family nest.
Halvor sat next to me shaking his head like he doesn't know what family nest is and that
Because
upset.
he's a child of nary a hair on his chest. So, yes, those are all the items you have. Please stick them in Discord.
Have them.
Very nice, very nice.
Right, well, I think we need to go back to Modern Kinds. We've got a new plan now, because we've got doors and rowboats, so let's take the rest of the session to redo the plan. Ooh, we're going to have to do something with the silver coffers, right? We're going to have to make a load of silvered weapons for people, maybe?
It wouldn't hurt. I mean, we've got a fuckload of money. Is a large portion of that not silver?
I don't think you can use silver coins.
No,
really?
no, we saw,
No.
I think we saw sage
Not
advice on it
pure
ages ago. But if you
But
want
the money,
to, we could.
the money will pay for us actually having all this shit made, though. So
True.
It's one of them. It depends if you want to use the silver for the creation
Holy
of
water.
holy water, or I mean, if you just said you're given 3 days, you could try and push Ornis into doing some like rapid silvering of like guards' weapons for you and stuff,
yeah,
and that'll help the guards out in their endeavours. Everything is going to be. A lot of things here are going to be presented to you in a very narrative way, just so that it isn't bogging the session down, but is absolutely going to have mechanical effects.
bonus.
I've already decided, situations where it's like, well, if they do, things like the guards. I knew you were sending guards in, so I know what the situation is with them. I know how it can go well, how it can go bad. Things like silvering definitely helps things be more likely based on my dice rolls to go good.
yeah, okay.
We do need to remember to distribute those magical weapons as well. Potentially,
Yes.
they could be more useful for Adrian and Muriel. Well, probably not Muriel because we do have a magical bow actually.
Did we take Vladimir's greatsword? I think we did, didn't we?
You left it with him. You said you wanted to leave it to rest of him. I think Halvor.
I mean, from what I remember, we did mention and discuss that, but then we were like, oh, there's no point in leaving.
We said it was a waste. Yeah, we were going to give it to Ez, weren't we?
No, you were going to give it to Ornis. I remember now, because Ornis has
Yeah.
said he'd come with you, but you haven't spoken.
Yeah,
about
he
him.
did. Hey, Honest.
And he's like the one guy capable of using a greatsword.
Yeah, because he's strong.
Well, we said I've got Periwinkle now. He could probably do it as well, but I don't
Fucking
know.
+3 greatsword on this nephew pleb from Barovia Village.
Oh yeah, I'm all about it.
This is going to be like the David and Goliath moment. He's going to come and like totally kick Strahd's ass now.
I mean, he's probably more of the Goliath. Though.
Yeah,
He's gonna get
just
battered
thinking
by some
that.
little imp.
In terms of power.
Yeah. Okay, so we need to have a chat through the week how we want to distribute some of the shit that we've got.
So yeah, I'm
What-
guessing looking
yeah.
at the time, we are not going to be knocking at Ravenloft next week, are we? Because you're going to want to go to the winery, unless you're wanting to actually commit to sorting out in Discord what the interaction, what you want to have done during the week. If we're wanting to start next session on the dawn of the third day, with you being near the bridge to Ravenloft, ready to assault and infiltrate, we can do it. But what I don't want is to have nothing happen during the week and then just us turn up and kind of into it. If you'd rather RP out the Martikovs, happy to RP out the Martikovs. If you want to go RP out talking to Ornis and getting items commissioned, we can do that in session. But if you actually want to spend the time to put this in Discord throughout the week, we can have that all done, and next session can be fucking getting to it. I'll do whichever one you decide, but I want you as a group to decide now and not sort of... Because when we say we're going to do things in Discord, it just doesn't happen.
I think we will distribute stuff. I think we can bypass Ornis and do that over Discord and just recap in the session, at the beginning of the session, what we did and how we equipped people. I think we should talk to the Martikovs.
I was going to say, I think we should talk to them because it seems unjust on their characters. Otherwise, we deserve that for them.
Yeah. So
Do we want to go a little bit longer and do that tonight? Ready for...
Depends how the conversation's going to go.
I I'm open to it. I mean, whatever we've still got 10 minutes, so even if we just went an extra 10 minutes, that's 20 minutes of talking to them. We're at least deeper into the conversation than we then need to be next week. Even if we don't wrap it up, if you guys can stick around for a bit longer, or we just do it all at the beginning of the session and then carry on from there next week.
I mean, I think if we start next session by speaking to the Marticops, we should be fine.
Yeah.
I imagine we can probably. I mean, I don't think we're going to be there for that long, so I think we can probably still end up starting our journey.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll deal with who's got what weapons and stuff, and the more mundane stuff. Do we have? I know you told us all the stuff that we got from Vlad's dudes, but I don't know if we've got it written down anywhere.
And there were. Well, it's more case I can't remember who's equipped with stuff now.
Cora does have the arrows in her inventory because she was, ready to use them.
Yeah.
But the other stuff, like the returning axe and things, I'm not sure about.
I think there was 2 magic axes. There was Vlad's sword. I think that's all there was, as well as the arrows. In terms of magic.
Vlad's swords, the axes, the arrows, the vicious flail. A vicious +1 flail, and I believe that Baromir
shield.
had
I got the shield.
You did, yeah.
Oh, is that something you're actively using?
It's something
arrow catching.
Well, yeah, it's something I've got, and now that I've got hit points, it actually might come in useful. Because let me double check what the thing is. What one?
You've got the potential to actually. Arrow people. But we have 9 minutes left in our session, so let's not lean back into the item management with 9 minutes to go when we've got Discord to do that. So, are we heading to the winery from here? So,
Yeah.
Mordenkainen, who I forgot to put onto this map, and presumably has just stood politely off to one side. So, you agree with Ismark that on the dawn of the 3rd day, he and his men will be at the bridge over to Ravenloft, and are they just starting the ruckus, or is there a signal they're going to wait for from you?
I think we should have a signal. Because obviously we're not just going to...
Should we say during the week what the signal was, and he understands what it is?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, actually, I need to ask him, did you find anything out from your hunters that have the trick tubes? They were watching Ravenloft for the last 3 weeks.
Other than a couple of comings and goings of his hell horse and Rahadin leaving on it and returning without him, little.
He
seems to have
send them
stayed.
a message?
Go on.
Do you think you could send them a message to? Would they be willing to join in the fight?
I expect not. They are material men. They would see very little in the honor of throwing their lives away in defense of a village.
Fair enough.
Well, at least can they return the tubes?
I will
Send
have
them a message to leave them somewhere that we can find them en route to Ravenloft.
Do we think the 3rd day is enough time for us to do any preparation? Especially if we need to hire Ronis?
6 guards.
It's fucking gonna be, trust me. I'm gonna fucking make it.
It doesn't matter what we choose, does it? It's like, let's do it in 10 days' time. So I imagine that you're gonna let us get done what we need to get done.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. We'll keep anything further item to our Discord chat, and I'll make changes as long as we're not making change. Don't start talking about it 4:00 Tuesday afternoon. If we're talking about it throughout the week, I will make sure that Foundry characters and everything is tied up to reflect it. So yes, Mordenkainen opens another portal, and you all go to the winery. Can everyone please make me a DC 14 Constitution saving throw this time? Now being a bit more used to it. Oh good, you're all already on here from the last time you were here. Bartenders again.
Slightly better. Slightly better this time. Just more black ichor.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And you find yourself before the winery. Adrian and Elvira are actually out in front, just sort of walking up and down, but in conversation between sort of the rows of grapes, clearly in some sort of discussion. They see or hear some magical element of your arrival before you'd called over to them, and they both just give you a look over and start striding over. Well, Adrian strides. Elvira doesn't slink, but he's less confident in his walk. Adrian's a big strider.
I feel like if this was a movie, this would be such a cool scene. The fucking party appearing, and we all just like, and I just spew everywhere. Oh, not quite so not quite Avengers Assemble. Get up.
Greetings, Adrian. Sorry about the mess.
Good to see you again, Halvor. Here's your firm handshake. Cora Bartandalus is a man who stormed into my kitchen.
Indeed, this is our wizard friend. I think the time for finality is approaching. Can we go inside and talk?
Truly, yes, you must. Come. Come, quickly then.
Damien about?
He is. All of us are here.
Excellent.
What's the plan to be? Are we to strike?
If you're willing, and if David will allow it. We know he wasn't too keen on Muriel coming with us to face Baba the Saga, so...
If this is the end of days that you've been planning, then I don't think Davian would dare to stop her. I imagine if what you tell us rings true, I imagine quite a few of us will come with you. I certainly will. Muriel, she won't be stopped. And
That's good to hear.
probably my father also.
Indeed, I think this is as better time as we will see in our lifetimes as any other.
Is your boy to come with us, or is he to remain here?
Holy shit, I forgot about the boy.
Yes, I thought you had forgotten about the boy.
I had not forgotten about the boy. I did
Hadn't
not
you?
list. Of course not. No, I just didn't list him among the allies. I wanted to have a conversation. I'm going to give him.
No, don't take him along. Every time we've taken him into battle, we've had to waste stuff on him. No, just leave him.
Well,
So the winery no longer has a battle map after the Great Foundry fuck up. So he leads you inside, up to the good old breakfast room you're familiar with, where Muriel and Davian, Elvira, Stefania, her baby, and Caspin are all assembled. And I think we will start next week, sat around that table. I would like for us to try and I will have all of the mundane stuff that we're going to discuss in Discord sorted, so you will kind of have advanced finished inventories. So I would like next session to get the conversations here done, and then us jump to being in front of Ravenloft beginning. So we will be Ravenlofting next session.
can we have the session up through the week? Because I will prepare the spells that I'm going to have, so I'm not having to dick about with that. I've also still got 2 spells that I've not picked up from this level up.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to just throw something on. I'm not sure what to go with because I'm probably not going to use them anyway.
Yeah.
We still need to pick Lindsay's
Yeah,
4th level one.
well, I need all of you to have your spells picked by the start of next session. Yeah.
Sure, that's fine.
Yeah.
Can you double check what the Vlad's buddies' weapons were? I've tried to list the ones I can remember, but
Yeah,
did he have like
let's have a
5
look.
guys?
Great sword.
Lady Nashandra Orus had a +1 longbow and a dagger arm blade. That wasn't magical.
It's the bow,
So-
the bow and arrow. She had the arrows.
Yeah, she had +2 arrows, which Cora's now got. Sir Felinor Astoran had a vicious +1 flail. Sir Hogan Baromir had a +1 longsword and the arrow-catching shield. So Vendrick Anchern had the freaky axes of returning, and that was it. Oh, and Vlad himself had his +3 greatsword.
So are they both axes of returning? I thought you said they were different axes.
The axes are returning, but they had the increased range.
There was 2 of them.
Yeah.
2 axes of return. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Just for some reason I thought you'd said that one of them was returning or something and one wasn't, so that's fine.
No, he's been chucking both because we were to teleport him back to him. So,
Cool.
a very inventory management heavy session.
I don't mind it. Fuck the viewers.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
Yeah.
It was good for us to try and remember and discuss them together, rather than like it's not as easy over messages. I don't think it's nice to have a chat.
You don't message anyway,
No, I know.
Lindsay.
That's why I don't.
You have people to do these sort of things for you. So yeah, Ravenloft will be next week. Remember, please, what I've said. I'll fucking kill you all in Ravenloft.
Can't wait.
So yeah, take it super serial.
Looking forward to it.
So I have our plan down as Ismark and co. storm a front, attack the bridge, draw attention, regards as distraction, whilst Group Owl flies round and enters via back door under mental barrier. Mordenkainen teleports him and Adrian in if Love Miller appears.
No, not Adrian. Well, we said Davian.
Sorry, I meant Davian. I don't know why I typed Adrian.
I think now are we not just having Davian go in with them at the front in the beginning because it's going to be easier? Is that not what we said?
Okay, we'll clarify on Discord.
Yeah, sure.
And then, group messages the courtyard or bridge marticals on above the gatehouse to meet them there, and then I'll taxi them up to the ramparts. So yeah, discuss further on Discord, please, because I will prep based on what we've discussed, and if there's then just sudden big logistical things that we haven't discussed during the week next week, I'll shut them down because I don't want the session to be loads of quickly setting up and recovering stuff that we could have spoken about. So yeah, please utilise the Discord fully in the next week. Or have your boyfriend utilise the Discord with your thoughts, Lindsay.
Yeah, Barty.
Yeah, right,
Juan has asked, is that a promise, Harrison? I don't know what she's referring to. I don't know if it's me saying I'll fucking...
Ravenloft, I imagine.
Or if it might be me saying I'll fucking kill you. Possibly. We'll see. But yeah.
Don't encourage him, man.
Thank you very much, everybody. And we'll see you next week for Ravenloft.
See you next week.
It only took 3 years.
It only took 3 years. Catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.